It's Ducks and Stars from Dallas, enough said, and Julie Stewart-Finks has our Honda keys to the game on the Anaheim bench.
Thanks, Johnny. Trevor Daley is tied to the league lead in power play goals. What do you tell your penalty kill to limit his opportunities?
Well, definitely we want to make sure that we're pressuring him at the right times. I mean, he gets involved in the offense off the rush, and you got to be aware when he's on the ice. So we've been doing a really good job with that, so I think that we'll hopefully continue tonight.
Thank you, Trent.
Thank you.
Johnny?
Thank you, Julie. My color analyst, Brian Hayward, is between the benches tonight. You expect to hear some good sounds.
I certainly do. Looking forward to this one. And no surprise right off the bat, the Eakins line matched up against Getzlaf. Roussel and Garbett, they were the thorns in the sides of the Ducks in the postseason last year.
Yeah, Ryan Garbett was up close and personal on Ryan Getzlaf quite a bit. We'll see if it happens again here tonight. The Stars into the Anaheim zone, dressed in their home greens, and Garbett's pass across deflected by Fowler and collected by Sami Vatanen, his new defense partner tonight. Due to the injury to Mark Fistrick, a little shuffling of the D pairings. Back on the blue line for Anaheim, and we're seeing Vatanen play with Fowler as we get an icing call right away. It was Vatanen, Brian, who last night, because of the injury in St. Louis to Fistrick, ended up playing over 24 minutes for Anaheim on the blue line.
It's an interesting combination, isn't it? You got lots of speed, lots of youth, obviously, but also some offensive potential. The book on the Stars in the early going is that they are willing to trade chances. They have a ton of speed in their lineup. They've scored a ton of goals this year, but they've given up a bunch as well.
They give up over 32 shots on goal a game coming into tonight. And as we visited with Mike Heika in the pregame show, they are giving up nearly 3.5 goals a game. Garbett has it in the neutral zone, bumped as he sends it into the Anaheim zone, and Hampus Lindholm slides it across for Francois Beauchemin. His pass tipped into the Dallas zone, and it trickles back to Kari Lehtonen. Lehtonen, who played a league-high 65 games a year ago, gets it ahead to Ales Hemsky. Hemsky, who came over from Ottawa, signing as a free agent in the offseason, has it taken away by Lindholm, who clears it ahead. Hemsky off to a very disappointing start. So far, just an assist. 8 games into the season for the Stars. Brendan Dillon handles back at his own stripe as Dallas makes changes. He's paired with Jordy Ben. Not a right-handed shot on the blue line for Lindy Ruff's defense. And that means he's got 3 guys playing the right side that are left-hand shots.
Well, the big line on the ice for the first time for the Dallas Stars, and they have been carrying this team so far this regular season.
Boy, Carlson set up Silverberg in the slot and it went off the heel of his stick. An unfortunate break, but William Carlson, who's back in the lineup after being a healthy scratch the last 2 games, unable to get it back in front for Silverberg. Jamie Benn tripped up as he got to the blue line, gets the puck deep into the Anaheim zone, and it's Sami Vatanen under duress. Ben got a bump on him, and the puck pulled off the boards. Carlson there to support, and the Ducks will exit the zone.
You know, you can see that Lindy Ruff, obviously, anytime William Carlson's on the ice, the young center for the Ducks, he's going to try and get that big line of his over on the ice.
Huge hit on Pat Maroon on his first shift back in the game, so we'll find out just how healthy he is as Eric Cole just bull rushed him. Maroon gets right back up and throws the puck deep into the Dallas zone. Perry tries to give it back to him at the far side of the goal. Goligoski chases, but it's knifed back by Getzlaf. Perry steps from below the goal line, tried to give it back to the captain. It comes out to Josh Manson. Manson making his NHL debut tonight on his first shift, paired defensively with Clayton Stoner.
That time it was Horkoff that got a pretty good bump on Pat Maroon, so welcome back, Pat Maroon. Cole got him with one. Eric Cole, big power forward for the Stars, and he lowered the shoulder. That hit on Pat Maroon, by the way, was textbook.
And Maroon, a little slow to get up from that second hit, now gets back to the bench. Maroon missed 8 games with that knee injury. Comes back into the lineup a week ahead of his recovery schedule. It was expected to be 4 to 6 weeks. It was 3 weeks ago. Cody Eakin behind the Anaheim net, unable to get the handle on a fluttering puck, and Connaughton steps up and throws it towards the net, and it ricochets all the way back out to the line. Covering the point was Garbett, and the Stars get it deep. Anderson, under no pressure, will settle it right there. Frederick last played on Sunday at Honda Center, making 33 saves in that 4-1 loss to the San Jose Sharks. That was the beginning of the offensive dearth for Anaheim, including that game. Just 2 goals in the last 3 games for the Ducks.
Yeah, what they're talking about, Johnny, is getting a lot more traffic, more aggressive in terms of how they attack the opposing team's net.
Well, they waved the icing here, so back to play it is Fowler, and a nifty pass up the middle of the ice. And that allows Carlson to stretch it for Bolesky. His shot flutters to Lehtonen, who holds on.
we knew that this game was going to be physical. Lindy Ruff said this morning that his team was going to go after Anaheim. They know the Ducks played last night. Pat Maroon puts his head down to accept that pass along the dasher board, and Cole was there to see the smile on the face of Pat Maroon. Boy, what an introduction back into the lineup for him. It's been a while, of course. He's only played the first 3 games of this regular season. He's been ahead of schedule, battled his way back into the lineup. And as I mentioned, John, in the pregame show, he adds a presence to this team. The Ducks are a lot bigger and a lot tougher with Maroon in the lineup.
Hazy, players tell me all the time they want to get that first hit in a game, but I don't know if they want to get hit like that. Cole trucked him. 6'2", 205. Eric Cole is a heavy man. And he's a great skater, too. That's what makes him so hard to play against. And he just trucked Maroon. Puck along the end wall. Cogliano trying to cycle back for Ryan Kesler as the Ducks work in the Dallas zone. 4.5 minutes gone in a scoreless first period in Dallas. Puck off the back of the net and nearly dug free by Devontae Smith-Pelly. Botman holds it in. Boy, all alone in the slot. Cogliano, and he fired it high and wide.
Yeah, and I don't see the goaltender having a chance of even taking a peek at that puck. Good play by Cogliano. Just throw it into traffic.
He just turned and found himself with a lot of space. Now Kesler gets it towards the net, and that misses the mark as well. Smith-Pelly has it on the near side. Ducks missed the net a good portion of the game last night against St. Louis, and they've missed a couple of opportunities here early on.
It's been part of this goal-scoring drought, no question about it. They've had their opportunities in the last 3 games, but boy, and a few of them, they haven't even been close. They've missed by a couple of feet on glorious chances.
Alex Goligoski from behind the Dallas net stretches it. Here's a possible 2-on-1. Eaves and Hemsky. Eaves takes the shot, blocked by Stoner. Good job there by Clayton Stoner. Eaves holds it in and it comes to the near side. Ducks have the top line out against Dallas's 4th line right now, and Getzlaf whips it across for Maroon. Stars won't be able to make changes. Perry can't handle the pass cleanly, however, and Goligoski retreats into the Dallas zone with it. Stars regroup, and they get changes as Goligoski gives it to Trevor Daley. He just gives it away as Boschman with a good read steps in and fires it back into the Dallas zone. Eakin moves it along from behind the net, and Maroon swats it back. Cody Eakin tracks it down once more. 5th-year man out of Winnipeg sends it ahead, and that is not touched by Roussel, so icing the result.
The only outnumbered attack so far we've seen in this game is a long stretch pass from Dallas. C42, that's Josh Manson. He steps up towards the offensive blue line, not knowing that there are 2 Dallas players in behind him. Manson's going to have to adjust to this speed of the NHL game, and you can see right now he's having a little conversation with Trent Yawney, and he wants to go over that coverage situation that he misread. It's tough. It is a big difference when you come from the American Hockey League for the first time to the NHL.
And he hasn't spent all that much time in the American League, Brian. He came to the team in Norfolk at the end of his college season with Northeastern last year, and then just 7 games this year before he was recalled by the Ducks. So it's been an indoctrination not only to pro hockey, but now to the National Hockey League for Josh Manson, the son of longtime NHL defenseman Dave Manson. Edom below the goal line in the Dallas zone. Trying to change directions and get away from Alexiak. And now he draws some attention as he gets it back to the point that's covered by Boschman. Jackman able to get to the pass at the bottom of the circle as he battles it back. Bruce Boudreau saying this morning that he thought Tim Jackman was his team's best forward in the 2-0 loss at St. Louis last night.
I talked to Tim about this game tonight, and he said, you know what? One of the things I want to do is I want to play this one straight, but if I get an opportunity to get one of the Dallas Stars' top players in the train tracks, he goes, I'm going to finish my check. It's going to be a clean hit, but he goes, I would love to get a good bump early on Ben or Sagan.
Penalty coming up on the Stars. Ducks get the extra man on. Kesler dips the shoulder and brings it into the Dallas zone. Back to the line. Fowler handles it. Very patient are the Ducks as the Stars just trying to get possession. One-time blast by Getzlaf comes through, and then off the boards, Kesler gets it back, but he misses the captain, whose stick was lifted, so Fowler has to come all the way back to get it.
Now, we've talked about this, John. Very difficult to beat this goaltender low along the ice. The Ducks have got to find those top corners.
Getzlaf, nice little move at the line, gets it to Cogliano. Great pass across. Perry right in front off his stick, and Kesler nearly got to it. The Stars finally touch up, and when we come back, they'll be shorthanded. The game's first power play will belong to Anaheim. after this. Earlier this week at Santa Anita Park, the Ducks were invited out to visit with their favorite horse, California Chrome, the first California-bred horse to win the Derby since 1962. He'll be running in the Breeders' Cup Classic tomorrow, all part of the Breeders' Cup at Santa Anita. Of course, Victor Espinoza is the jockey and Alan Sherman, the trainer, both big Ducks fans. Very nearly won the Triple Crown last spring, winning the first 2 legs before falling short in the Preakness, and we wish them the best of luck tomorrow. The Breeders' Cup is one of those bucket list sporting events if you've never been. Ducks go to the power play here. The penalty on Tyler Seguin at 7:47 of the opening period. Anaheim last season was 3 of 10 against Dallas with the extra man. Vatanen holds it in at the line and gets it over to Getzlaf. Right back to the captain as he works the right wing half wall. Puts it right to the goal mouth, and Maroon couldn't pull it back to his forehand.
A different look on the power play with Pat Maroon in front of the net.
Perry drifts to the half wall now, winds and fires, and boy, Lettinen never saw that as it goes high and wide. Again, kept in though by Vatanen, and Lettinen swats it away side of the net. And it's cleared by Goligoski, and that one ends up as a souvenir along the near side.
You know, we talk about some of the things that Pat Maroon brings to the table. It is that front net presence that will make the power play all that more difficult to defend. See him get right up in front of Kari Lettinen. He's a big guy and difficult for the goaltender to look around big number 19.
Maroon had points in each of the 3 games he played in prior to that knee injury, and Buffalo was off to just a sterling start as part of this top line for Anaheim. Stays out on the power play as Kessler battles for the faceoff. Brendan Dillon and Maroon bump in the corner after it. Perry gets it back to Getzlaf. Holds it, pressured by Eakin, who got a stick on it, but the captain keeps it deep. Dillon pitches it along, and Garbutt uses the wall, but can't clear past Sami Vatanen. Great job by Vatanen, who just wouldn't give up the blue line.
He's been great just controlling pucks, John. A lot of bouncing pucks coming back to the point. He has great poise and patience.
He's got it again, walks it across for Getzlaf. Back to Vatanen. He's in his skates a little bit, so across now for Kessler. And the Ducks work it down low. Under a minute to go in the power play. Perry hears it from the fans. Vatanen takes the shot. Off a skate, and Perry again gets it back to Sami at the line. Very patient, a lot of time, and it's a wrist shot from Vatanen that is tipped over top of the net, and then Kessler mixing it up in front with Brendan Dillon, and I think he took his feet out, and a penalty coming up here to the Ducks.
Yeah, it looks like the initial call will be against Brian Kessler. Maroon did a good job getting in there and not getting an additional penalty. And you could see Kessler saying that Dillon takes a little bit of a dive. The referee does not agree. Kind of sticks out the right leg. Dillon spun around, and no call on the retaliation slash. So not a good penalty for Ryan Kessler to take, and he will sit. Great conversations, guys, going on between the players. And remember Trevor Daley? Remember him during the playoffs last year, and he was roughing up Corey Perry in front of the Dallas Stars goal crease. Every time he skates in front of the Anaheim bench, he gets an earful.
Kelly Sutherland, our referee, along with Mike Lego tonight. Keel Murchison and Ryan Galloway are the linesmen, and it's Sutherland who makes the call on Kessler for tripping, so it'll be 4-on-4 for the next 39 seconds. Brian, I'm thinking some of these conversations you're going to hear on the ice you probably can't share with us over the course of the evening.
Well, and this is going to be a man's game today. There's no question about it. They're going to challenge one another at every single play, at every single stoppage in play, for that matter.
Fowler and Vatanen, the defense pair, as the Ducks go 4-on-4 with Bolesky and Thompson with forwards. And off a face-off win from Thompson, it's Fowler who skates it to center. Nice pass ahead, and Bolesky finds some room. Got a low wrist shot away. Left pad saved by Kari Lettinen. Kept in, and Vatanen with a fake pass gets it then over, fakes the shot, I should say. Got it over to Fowler, and it's another save from Lettinen. Fowler saucers it all the way back. Vatanen forced, got it to Bolesky. Thompson and he try to spread the ice a little better, and then Vatanen's pass broken up by Sean Horcoff. Daley feeds it across, and Cole lost it in his skates, so Fowler immediately engaged.
I tell you what, Sami Vatanen is having a game so far. I mean, he has been so good at that right point, keeping pucks alive and making good decisions, really good decisions, quick decisions with the puck.
Stars now go on the power play for a little over a minute as the initial penalty to Seguin is over. Dallas has done well on the power play, to say the least, this year. They have at least one power play goal in each of their last 6 games. But Cogliano took it away from Spezza. Here's Silverberg, shorthanded, and he just missed. He tried to go top corner, and he didn't miss by much.
Oh, what a pass. Great pass by Andrew Cogliano. He got an angle, forced the turnover, and a nice little saucer pass to Spring Silverberg.
35 seconds left in the Dallas power play. Ben somehow keeps it in the zone. Seguin feeds it down low for Spezza. And stepping in front of him was Boschman, who puts it on top of the dasher. It's returned back, and Spezza out of the corner takes a look. His pass goes right through Goligoski and all the way back to Lehtinen.
Boy, I tell you what, Goligoski had snuck down, and he was wide open, and the pass by Jason Spezza right in his feet. He puts that in the wheelhouse, and that is a point-blank one-timer for Goligoski.
Under 10 seconds in the power play, an area pass. Fiddler stays onside, and Anderson comes out to tip it away. Manson moves it up the near side, and away come the Ducks. It was knocked down by a high stick, however. The penalty to Kessler has expired. Both teams full strength in a scoreless tie in Dallas when we come back.
Penalty killing from the Ducks. Andrew Cogliano is going to get a real nice angle on Jason Spezza, and Spezza puts it right into his feet. Boy, an inexcusable turnover by him leads to the shorthanded bid by Jakob Silverberg. You can see what Silverberg is thinking. He's trying to go up into the top corner against Kari Lehtinen, but the problem for the Ducks lately is that they've been missing those grade A opportunities. I'll tell you what, though, I can't remember the Anaheim penalty kill being as aggressive as I saw it just moments ago during that last sequence. I mean, the Stars literally had no time whatsoever to handle the puck.
Face off to the right of Anderson, controlled by the Ducks, and unable to keep it in up the near wall as Eric Cole. 3 abreast comes Anaheim, and Edom just puts his head down, fires it. A stick save by Lehtinen, who was drifting back into his goal crease as he made the stop. Shots on goal, 5-1 in favor of Anaheim. The forgotten man in the early going is Frederik Andersen. Stars want to change that. Here comes Eric Cole. 3 goals early on in the season for the 13-year veteran, and he backhands it right into the goal crease. It comes loose, and somehow Anderson keeps it out as Connaughton stepped up and appeared to have a point-blank bid. Fiddler holds it in. His shot blocked by Thompson to the corner. And one of the best shifts of the night so far for the Stars continues on, and another point-blank save. This time it's Cole who comes up with it right in front. Anaheim a little sloppy in their own zone. They've had possession a couple of times and failed to get it out. Cole battles Manson far corner. Eric Cole keeps it alive. Now it comes out high. Seguin hands it off, and Jordy Benn's shot is deflected and out of play.
Well, the Stars' fourth line gets some pretty good opportunities there, and Eric Cole's had a strong game. Manson kind of loses an edge there, and that allows Cole just to shovel it into the crease area. And I'll tell you what, Clayton Stoner has come to the aid of his goaltender on a couple of times. I thought on the second one, close to a hook there on Nate Thompson. A little scrambly in front of Frederik Andersen the last shift.
12 minutes gone in the opening period, no score. And Smith-Pelly trying to work it up the wall. Gets a second effort, but it's kept in by Jordy Benn. Benn walks it across the zone, forced to his backhand, whips it around, and Spezza gives it to Jamie Benn, who misfires on the one-timer. Ducks break out, and Smith-Pelly lobs it ahead. Cogliano gets it into the zone. Devontae picks it up. Bad angle shot. Fat rebound off of Lehtinen, and Cogliano couldn't get there. Kessler was dumped in the slot.
What an effort there by Devontae Smith-Pelly. That puck along the boards.
Back come the Stars. The trailer is Spezza, and a good play by Boschman, who stepped up and just poked it off his stick.
Oh, what a great read by Francois Boschman.
Well, if Cogliano had seen the pass, Anaheim had numbers in the neutral zone. Now they change, and Kessler bats it out of midair back into the Dallas zone. Kevin Connaughton, or excuse me, it's Goligoski trying to find some time and space, gets center red, puts it right on goal. A stick save by Anderson, leaves it for Fowler. Carlson has Roussel all over him, but does get it ahead to Silverberg. Bolesky got a touch on it at center. Now gets it back in the Dallas zone. Offside were the Ducks on the play.
Devontae Smith-Pelly has been playing, I think, his best hockey ever in an Anaheim uniform. In a nice play along the boards, then put it right into the feet of Lehtinen. The rebound was there. Kessler could not locate it. And then here is a nice read by Francois Boschman, stepping up on Jason Spezza. A little bit of a 3-on-2 break there that was well played by the Anaheim defender, Boschman.
Face off from just outside the Dallas stripe, and Carlson, the rookie, sent packing from the circle, so Bolesky will step in to take his spot. And Vern Fiddler, the top face-off man for the Stars this year, able to win the draw. He tried to split the D with a breakout pass, but Hemsky couldn't field it cleanly. Silverberg fails to get it in at the Dallas blue line, and well offside is Carlson. He'll have to touch up. 6:20 to go, first period, no score in Dallas as Fiddler tried to flip it into the zone, but it's batted into the Anaheim bench. Tonight after the game and after Ducks Live post game, stay tuned. It's a monstrous high school football matchup. St. John Bosco goes head-to-head with Servite in the Ford CIF Southern Section Game of the Week. It's all part of a fantastic fall right here on Fox Sports West.
You can see the matchup that Lindy Ruff is looking for right here whenever the Getzlaf line is on the ice and he gets a face-off. The Eakin line comes over the boards. Roussel and Garbett, the antagonistic wingers out there to oppose Corey Perry, Maroon, and Ryan Getzlaf.
This is the first of 3 regular season meetings between these two clubs, but they're going to have to get the venom out here tonight because it's going to be a long time until they run into one another again. Over 4 months before the next meeting. It'll be March the 1st when these teams meet again, and it'll be back here at American Airlines Center. Stars don't come to Anaheim until almost the end of the season. Their only visit to Southern California will be on the 8th of April.
John, in the neutral zone moments ago, Josh Manson senses that Goligoski is stepping up, and he actually lowers the boom on Goligoski. He was hurt as he went back to the Dallas bench, and they can't afford to lose Goligoski for any length of time. He's the guy that walks the line so well for them on the blue line, adds a lot of pop in terms of joining the rush as the 4th man.
Manson, 6'3", 217 pounds, was a 6th round pick of the Ducks in 2011. Spent 3 years at Northeastern playing for the Husky program before turning pro last spring. Lindholm strides back into the Anaheim zone after it. Garbett digs it free. Roussel got it through, and a rebound that Eakin nearly got to. Puck is out of play. Nobody seems to know where it is as Garbett tried to center. And at last, the officials realized it was turned into a souvenir. They'll talk about it while we step aside. Fox Sports West wants to wish you a very happy Halloween. And in keeping with the spirit, we want to see your best Halloween photos. Use the hashtag #FantasticHalloween and share photos of your costumes, trick-or-treat adventures, and just whatever's going on this evening. And tonight's game will showcase some of our favorites as we go along. Here's some of the better Duck-inspired pumpkin entries that we've seen so far. We thought we might see an entry from Kent French amongst these carvings of the pumpkins. Perhaps that's coming up in Ducks Live post-game.
The Mounties are in town. I feel safer, John.
Well, it is North Texas, so I guess it makes sense. There was a big discussion as we went away to break as to how the puck went out of play, who it went off of, and it appears to still be ongoing, Brian, down there as the Zebras have circled. The puck is near the dot to the left of Anderson. Conventional wisdom had that being the face-off spot coming out of the television timeout. And Anaheim continues to lobby to move it outside the blue line.
Well, Francois Beauchemin had a long conversation with actually all 4 members of the officiating crew. And, of course, he was saying that the puck went off a Dallas stick. The Stars were just kind of keeping out of the conversation completely because the indication was already that the faceoff was where they wanted it. This does have the feel of a playoff game down here at ice level. A lot of eyeballing going on between both sides.
Bruce Boudreau told our Julie Stewart-Binks before the game that he thought it had a playoff feel as well. Brendan Dillon off the one faceoff gets it to the net, redirected just wide. Horkoff or Sevier may have gotten a piece of that, and Anaheim living right. Quoten Sevier with it again at center across the line for Sean Horkoff. Horkoff, the 13-year veteran, shovels it in, and the battle ensues along the end board. Sevier digs it out, got it to Horkoff. His shot though blocked by Beauchemin, who stayed home in front. Dillon holds the line. Anderson wanders to play it, and it's chipped up the near side. Well, Smith-Pelly had Jordy Benn in his sights. Now he chases it down and angles it off the wall. Benn again keeps it in as he bats it out of midair. Lindholm rifles it to center. Cogliano with a nice area pass across. Smith-Pelly strides into the Dallas zone, lost the handle at the blue line. Offside was the call, and then Jordy Benn, for good measure, got a free pop in on Smith-Pelly. Congratulations to Ducks head coach Bruce Boudreau. This is his 200th regular season game behind the Anaheim bench.
We were talking to the coach this morning, John, asking him about what kind of a game he thought this might be, an emotional game. And he said, you know what, I always feel the same way about every game. I want to let the game take its course. Whatever happens will happen.
Nothing has happened in the way of goal scoring to this point. Just over 15 minutes in as the Ducks work it into the Dallas zone. Here's Perry with a good chance, and time for Trevor Daley to get a piece of it, and that one goes high in the air and into the netting above the high glass. My broadcast partner is sick and tired of me, so he's down between the benches tonight here in Dallas.
So let's be honest, John. You just wanted the extra space in the booth tonight.
I'm not against it.
Yeah. You know what? The other thing that Coach Boudreau was saying to us is that he knew that emotions were going to run high. He said it's important that we use that emotion in a positive fashion. Roussel is out there on the ice, and you can see that I think the referees had enough of Roussel. He might have given him a misconduct penalty of some kind.
Trevor Daley coming over to get the clarification. He and Maroon appeared to be engaged after the whistle there, and it was because Roussel made the trip over to see Patrick Maroon.
You know, Duck players look back at their bench. Ryan Getzlaf said, we're on the power play. So with 4:35 left in this period.
It's an unsportsmanlike conduct, Brian.
Yeah, and it's the words. It's what was said, I'm sure, between Roussel and some of the Anaheim players. And remember last spring, the combination of Garbutt and Roussel at times really were effective in that series, getting under the skin of the Ducks, but at other times they took bad penalties. And that is the book on those two gentlemen, and the referees know them by reputation as well. So watching them extra closely in a game like this.
Boy, Lindy Ruff and Mike Lego having a very animated conversation that continued after Lego left the Dallas bench. Second power play of the night for Anaheim, and they win the draw. Vatanen, low wrist shot. There's a rebound there off of Lettinen, but it's swept away by the Stars defense.
Pat Maroon looks towards the heavens. That was a good low shot through traffic by Vatanen, who is having a spectacular game tonight. And for a split second, Maroon had an opportunity.
Sammy gives it to Perry in the neutral zone. He releases on the puck and enters the zone. Wanted to give it back to the point, but Eakin broke that up, and now 5 players in the corner jamming away at it. It comes to Vatanen. Off the point, walks the line, got it through, and I believe Kessler got a piece of that, sending it wide. Again, the puck retrieved by Maroon, and it's Vatanen at the point who moves it across. Quick puck movement to Perry, and his pass tried to go across to Kessler, but Jordy Ben got a piece of it.
Yeah, good play by Ben. Active stick, gets the turnover.
Perry gets it in front for Kessler, who finds it after it bounces off of Brendan Dillon. Comes back to the near side. Vatanen is there, and a rolling puck that he passes right over the stick of Perry. Perry hears it every time he touches the puck here in Dallas. Jamie Benn gets to it on the far side and heads up ice short-handed, 3 abreast. He has Fiddler and Dillon with him. Benn finds Dillon in the high slot, gives it right back, and he curls in the corner with it. And the Ducks just letting Jamie Benn handle that puck, so now he'll hinge it all the way back.
Yeah, quite a play by Jamie Benn.
Alexiak hammers it in off the blocker of Anderson, and the power play down to half a minute. Vatanen will get to the bench. He's been out there for 90 seconds. Fowler and Lindholm now at the blue line for the power play unit. And Fowler puts it around the boards and in off the stick of Lettinen. Under 3 to play in a scoreless first period. Carlson loses a physical battle to Alexiak. It's gloved back, though, by Lindholm. Now the Ducks can't touch it. This will be a hand pass if they do. Smith-Pelly abides, and we get a whistle as a result.
So Sammy Vatanen has done a real nice job in this game getting point shots through, and here's a perfect example of it. Low shot created an issue that time for the goaltender Lettinen. I think Kessler may have got a touch on it. Here was the one where he fed it in. It's off the left leg pad of the goaltender. And Pat Maroon just a split second slow to get a handle on that rebound.
Brian, how's Maroon look to you? Here's a guy who hasn't played in 3 weeks, missed the last 8 games.
Well, you know, he's battling, John. I don't think the skating is coming easily for him. That's not surprising for a player coming off of a knee injury and wearing a brace on that leg for the first time.
The penalty is over to Roussel. Roussel, the leading penalty minute man the last 3 years running here in Dallas, had over 200 last season. And he picked up an unsportsmanlike there, but he lives to see another day. And a shot from the corner off the stick of Bolesky is in the glove of Kari Lettinen.
Now, when in doubt, put it on the net. A good little decision there by Matt Bolesky. He had a bunch of stars all over his back, but managed to control the puck and snap it off, unfortunately, right into the left hand of the goaltender Lettinen. Both goaltenders have been good. I mean, there have been some scramble plays in a game like this. A lot of traffic that both have had to deal with thus far.
Thompson to oppose Sagan in the circle to the right of Kari Lehtinen. Boschman just hammers a rolling puck, and Lehtinen does a good job to find that through traffic. Well, the Ducks are back home at Honda Center November the 5th. It's the first game of the homestand against the New York Islanders. A 7:30 start. If you buy 2 tickets now, you can get 2 additional tickets free. Go to AnaheimDucks.com/V2G2 and use that same promo code for the limited time offer.
And you can see that an adjustment here from head coach Bruce Boudreau on his defense pairings late in a period. He starts to double shift. A few of his veterans, John, late in this period.
Under 2 to play in the period as the puck trickles back, and now it's a foot race. Silverberg has Jamie Benn bearing down on him, but he gets there first, plays it across, and Boschma finds the open man. It's Lindholm, and on the wing, Thompson stood up by Sevier at the blue line. Alexiak, who picked up his first career NHL goal in the loss to St. Louis here 3 nights ago, moves it away for the Stars, and then tries to hold the blue line as Lindholm flips it in. Cogliano gets in on top of Connaughton. A couple of the young defensemen here in Dallas. Alexiak, Connaughton getting a good look for general manager Jim Nill. Sergei Gonchar has not played yet this season because of an ankle injury. There's been talk that the veteran could be available as a possible trade as well, but he's have to get healthy first. Now it's Kessler into the Dallas zone. His bid blocked. He gets it back, got it to the net, and Lehtinen bumped by Tim Jackman, who's going to go here.
Yeah. And it's going to be a goalie roughing the goaltender penalty against Tim Jackman.
I think he caught him with the stick up high, and Lehtinen sold it for sure, but goaltender interference appears to be the result.
Well, here's a look at it. You see Jackman coming in, the stick blade, and it wasn't his stick. It was the defenseman Dylan's stick. Watch this. Tim Jackman's stick is down near the ice. It was actually the defenseman Dylan that caught a piece of the goaltender Lehtinen. That's a tough call that goes against Tim Jackman and the Ducks.
Do you get the feeling, Brian, that the officials are aware of the potential in this game tonight?
No question. I mean, I'm sure they've also been warned by their supervisors about the potential of this game. They read the newspapers. They know what's going on here.
So it's the second Dallas power play, and it comes at the 19-minute mark. Jackman, the Ducks penalty minute leader, takes a seat for the slash. And a power play unit that's clicking at 25% on the season for the Stars gets their first full 2-minute complement of the game. Their only power play chance was an abbreviated one, and now Ben steps aside for Spezza to take the draw. 10 assists on the year for Jason Spezza, who's off to a great start as a Dallas Star, and he wins the draw. Daly, who's been the straw that stirs this power play drink, the defenseman number 6, already with 4 power play goals on the season. That leads the National Hockey League. He's out at the blue line. Spezza works the left wing half wall. They overload the near side, tried to go high short side, but Anderson had a good look at it. Getzlaf comes up with a loose puck, heads up ice short-handed, clears the zone, and then sweeps it the rest of the way.
For a split second, he had Kessler in the middle of the ice. He couldn't get the puck to him, but Kessler had a lane.
25 seconds remains in the opening period, and the late man coming with speed is Spezza. Throws it to the corner, but it's swatted away. Good play there by Silverberg, and from behind the net, Boschma clears his own. It's a foot race. Silverberg gets to it. Another shorthanded chance for him on the backhand. Steered aside by Lehtinen.
The second shorthanded bid for Jakob Silverberg in this game.
Spezza takes it in the final 10 seconds of the period, has his pass intercepted. Silverberg will clear it, and that'll do it for the opening period in Dallas. Each team with a couple of power play chances, but no score. And a couple of the best chances the Ducks have had offensively, both coming shorthanded from Jakob Silverberg. Anaheim outshoots Dallas 11-8 in the opening period. The tone set physically as we expected, and no score at American Airlines Center after 1. No score in Dallas at American Airlines Center after 1 period of play between the Dallas Stars and Anaheim Ducks on a Halloween night. A night in which it appears as if there's some old sideline guys in attendance. That's Kent French in 5 years from now. In the spirit of Halloween, we're showcasing your best picks with the hashtag FantasticHalloween. Keep sharing your best Halloween photos using that hashtag FantasticHalloween, and we'll share them with you as we go through the night. The Stars making their way back out onto the ice to begin the second period. They will still have a minute of power play time when the period begins. In the midst of their second power play, Anaheim came up short on both power play opportunities they had in the opening period. Dallas 1-0-3 so far this season at home. It's been very strange for them. They've blown some third period leads, games that ended up getting away from them either in shootouts eventually or in overtime. One of the things Lindy Ruff and all his players were talking about this morning as they tried to downplay the rematch with the team that eliminated them in the playoffs last spring was they said, we're just trying to focus on playing like an elite team. In other words, if we get a lead in the third period, especially at home, we need to hold that lead. The all-important first goal of the game is still out there as we are scoreless. Still a moment or so away from the start of the second period. Let's go to the Anaheim bench as our Julie Stewart-Fink standing by with Ducks assistant coach Brad Lauer.
Thanks so much, Johnny. Now, Brad, Jakob Silfverberg had 2 really good shorthanded opportunities in the first. What did you think of your special teams in the first 20?
I thought we did a very good job. Our power play had a couple good looks offensively. We just need close. They're a very aggressive penalty kill, so we need close support in the offensive zone. And our penalty kill's done a good job all year. We're very aggressive down ice, in zone, and for that result, we got 2 chances on it.
Thanks, Brad. Good luck.
Thank you.
Johnny?
Thank you, Julie. Ducks have to be careful against this Dallas power play. 4th ranked in the league coming into tonight's game. And Brian, a good rest as they still have a minute of penalty to kill to begin the second.
It was an interesting opening period, and you look at the 2 best players on both teams, Getzlaf and Perry for the Ducks, Ben and Seguin for the Stars, and no one was able to register a shot on goal. So particular attention being paid to the respective star players on each team, and the penalty killing it's pressure all over the ice. There's just really no time to handle pucks. I was especially impressed, John, the opening 20 minutes, the way Vatanen was able to control some rolling pucks, some pucks that weren't necessarily right in his wheelhouse on the blue line. And this ice, by the way, you like to start a power play with a fresh sheet of ice, and that's what the Stars have got. Keep an eye on Trevor Daley. Been a real factor on their power play so far this season.
Well, the Ducks coaching staff was obviously impressed with Sami Vatanen as well. He played a team-high 8:19 in the opening period, the only player in the game who played more. Jordy Ben, the Dallas defenseman, who played over 9 minutes in that opening period. So the Stars with a minute of power play time as the second period begins, digging at the puck in the near corner, and it'll come all the way around to Alashemsky. And he'll fumble it. And up with it is Silfverberg. He's been dangerous short-handed all night. He'll skate it as far as the blue line and then shovel it the rest of the way before heading to the bench for a change. Half a minute left in the Stars' man advantage. Trevor Daley has 8 points on the season. They've all come on the power play as he rims it around. And Cogliano tries to force it back. Hemsky again gives chase. And he sets up Daley. That one bounced off his stick. A little lively. Manson to the corner after it, but Spezza will get it back. And now Daley at the point. Behind the net for Jamie Benn. Sets up Tyler Seguin. On the half wall. Spezza. Boy, tried to set up Daley for the one-timer. Instead, Hemsky over to Spezza. Fires it wide as the penalty is over to Jackman. And the Ducks now full strength. So both teams 0 for 2 on the power play.
Missed that short side post by just a couple of inches. That was a rocket off the stick of Spezza. He's always been known as a player with a great one-timer.
Right-hand shooting centerman weaves his way back to the line, and Brendan Dillon's shot off a stick goes harmlessly wide. Collected by Daley, though, as Dallas keeps the pressure on, and Garbutt keeps the cycle going. Cody Eakin pulls it off the wall, now slides it across, and Jordy Ben risks it over top of everything. Eakin again throws it in front, nobody home, and Jackman covers up, finding Smith-Pelly. Cogliano races to center. Ducks will change, though, as Smith-Pelly rockets it into the Dallas zone. Dillon's pass doesn't connect with Garbutt. Quickly transitioned back by Getzlaf. Oh, wow. Perry and Maroon crisscross at the line. Offside is called, and then after the whistle, Perry is dumped. I think we're going to get a couple of penalties here. Kelly Sutherland is going to take Perry, I guess, for an embellishment here.
Roussel right in the middle of things once again. Let's see if we can pick it up at the blue line. There's the play by Roussel, and Corey Perry does embellish to draw the call.
Well, Brian, I'm still trying to figure how that play was offside.
It was close. It was close at the blue line. And now we've got a little bit of 4-on-4, which makes things a little bit interesting. There hasn't been a lot of open ice in this game. I think the Ducks will be fine with the extra little space on the ice.
Let's see again. It doesn't matter, but here's the offside call.
Well, you see the skates of Corey Perry are...
Yeah, you're right. It's close.
Yeah, it's close, but it looked to me like Pat Maroon had just jumped the line. a little bit. Corey Perry's skates can actually go over the blue line if it's deemed by the linesman that he has full control of the puck, which he appeared to have in that situation. Interesting how we start the 4-on-4. Cogliano, who has looked quick and dangerous in this game, out there along with Ryan Getzlaf.
And the Ducks work it into the Dallas zone. Second set of 4-on-4 we've had in the game. We had a 39-second stretch of it in the opening period. No score in Dallas. The Ducks continuing to desperately seek some goal scoring. Now with just 2 goals in the last 10 periods of play, and this is an errant pass that hops the stick of Getzlaf and will result in an icing call.
Puck just kind of rolled on Cam Fowler there as he followed through on that pass. A good look at the captain, Ryan Getzlaf. I mentioned both he and Corey Perry held without a shot in the opening period. We've said this before, is that the Ducks have great depth, but often they go as well as the big gunners go up front, and when you've only scored a couple of goals in 3 games, I got to believe that everyone in the locker room is kind of looking around a little bit and waiting for Getzlaf and Perry to get on track.
This building and this location, Dallas, has been tough for Anaheim. The Stars 39-11-5 all time against Anaheim in Dallas. And in the regular season, they have won 9 of the last 13 games played here in Dallas. I'm not exactly sure what the delay is right now. They're looking at the scorer's bench, maybe checking the clock. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, there's only the penalty time went up for Corey Perry, so now they're making sure Rossell's time matches it and they get it squared away. A minute 32 remains in the coincidental minors against the 2 of them, Roussel for roughing and Perry for the embellishment. Just over 2 minutes into the second period, and Getzlaf with a clean face-off win. Botman chases it around the Anaheim net. Forced to hit the brakes, and now go backhand across for Cam Fowler. Fowler finds Getzlaf, who gallops in, trying to find Smith-Pelly in front. That was knifed away, and it bounces over everybody's stick before it finally settles for Jamie Benn. Jamie Benn into the Anaheim zone, tied up nicely. Over comes Lindholm to poke it away, and Getzlaf is there to receive it. Lindholm joins the rush and gets the pass across the line with Smith-Pelly.
Ben, a dangerous one-on-one player, and I tell you what, so well defended there by Cam Fowler. He just looked right at his chest, never once looked at the puck.
Ben was a first-team NHL All-Star a season ago, coming off a wonderful season, 34 goals for the Stars. And he'll head to the bench as the Ducks tip it deep into the Dallas zone. Jordy Benn, his brother, who's made a spot for himself here in the last couple of seasons, moves it ahead, and here's Tyler Seguin. Seguin, who had 37 goals a year ago, 5th leading goal scorer in the league, tried to make a play, but the Ducks were wise to it, and Kessler hoisted over top of the net at the other end. Silverberg keeps it in, but misses Kessler along the base of the dasher, and Trevor Daley after it. The 11-year veteran just clears the zone with Silverberg bearing down on him. Clayton Stoner with an errant pass at center. Spezza had to wait for Hemsky to get onside. Now gets it to him.
Close to too many men. Very close to too many men. Stars on a change.
Spezza and Hemsky both finished the season last year as Ottawa Senators. And now Roussel out of the box taps it into the Anaheim zone, and Manson trying to clear. Says Roussel got a piece of it as the puck goes over the glass and out of play. We'll see if the rookie gets the benefit of the doubt here.
The linesmen, the referees all conferring right in the corner. I don't know if he touches the puck. He certainly goes to work on the hands of Josh Manson. And I think Manson's going to go.
We saw this exact same thing last night in St. Louis, and as a result, the same thing that happened at Scott Trade Center will happen to Josh Manson. He gets his first 2 minutes of penalties at the NHL level.
He was talking with Clayton Stoner and asking him about what words of advice he would give to his defense partner, Josh, tonight. He said, you know, just enjoy the moment. I'll try and talk to him a lot. He remembered his first game as a rookie, and he said it really helped when my defense partner was talking to me and kind of calmed him down a little bit.
So it's the third Dallas power play of the game, and Kessler able to clear. That's off a Dallas high stick here. So as Jordy Benn strides back and touches it, we'll get a face-off back in the Dallas zone. You can win a 2015 Honda CR-V this season at Fan Appreciation Night at Honda Center. To be in the running, just send us a 15-second video telling us why you deserve the car. That's AnaheimDucks.com/I want my CR-V For details on how to enter, one of the details is you must be 18 years or older. 12 seconds gone on the Manson penalty, and the Stars win the draw back in their own zone. Jordy Ben will lead the rush. Hard pass up the middle off the stick of Horkoff right to Freddie Anderson, and look at him. Just lob it the length of the ice.
And that's a confident play by Frederik Andersen. It's interesting, John. You remember the Ducks got some shorthanded opportunities in the opening period. Now Jordy Ben out there along with Goligoski. So a little more conservative approach to the Dallas power play.
And offside they go. Goligoski did not play the final 6 minutes of that opening period after he took that hit from Josh Manson. So from a Dallas perspective, good news as their leading assist man on the blue line is back in the lineup. Goligoski without a goal this year, but 7 helpers in the early going.
Well, he's also a guy that plays, huge minutes, averaging over 25 minutes a game. Goligoski and Daly are the two big horses for Lindy Ruff.
That might be part of the problem here in Dallas. They're the big horses on the blue line. They're not the biggest of defensemen. Seguin into the middle off the heel of Spezza's stick, and Hemsky keeps it alive. Plays catch with Daly. Daly walks the line, finds a lane, gets it back to Hemsky. Seguin has it poked off his stick by Vatanen. Gets it back for Spezza. Under a minute to go in the Dallas power play. Spezza, great cross-ice pass, but a better read by Vatanen as he got a stick on it, and Cogliano wastes little time icing the puck.
Yeah, best player on the ice for the Ducks tonight has been Vatanen. Another strong defensive play by him. And Boudreau talking today about his competitiveness.
And Brian, he seems to really be responding to the additional responsibility, the additional ice time that he's gotten due to the injuries here in the last week.
I think every player will tell you that, if you get extra power play time, it does wonders for your confidence and helps you in defensive situations too.
Garbett spilled in the neutral zone, and here's a shorthanded chance for Bolesky. He'll tee it up, and it's in and out of the glove of Lehtinen.
Well played by the goaltender. No room for Matt Bolesky on that blast. Lehtinen very, very aggressive out in front of the goal crease.
Connaughton back to play at the penalty to Manson is over, and the rookie lives to see another day. No Dallas shots on goal during that power play. Anaheim with a shorthanded bid. Ducks with a couple of shorthanded goals in the early going this season, and they continue to be dangerous despite being shorthanded. Errant pass will go the length of the ice, but they'll waive the icing, so Lehtinen will play it. And Alexiak picks it up. 13.5 to play, second period. Still no score in Dallas. Now it's Anderson's turn to play the puck. Beauchemin pressured from both sides, able to nudge it through, and Maroon takes a look over his shoulder, protects with his body, and makes a nice pass to Beauchemin, and it's an easy exit of the zone for Perry. A simple play there. Won't show up on the stat sheet, but Maroon used his big frame to protect the puck, found the open man, and it was a stress-free exit of the zone for Anaheim.
One of the few times that the Getzlaf line has been on the ice when big Alexiak is out there. That's a defender that they think they may be able to exploit. A little bit slower afoot.
Puck along the far boards. Patrick Eaves loses the battle for the puck. What a save by Anderson on Sevier.
Absolute robbery.
Sevier puts it off the side of the net. Eaves trying to force it in front, and the Ducks able to clear the zone. Boy, is that a break there. Anderson with his best stop of the night. Colton Sevier right back into the Anaheim zone. Lays it off, and Cole has it stripped off his stick as he went to pull the trigger. Guess who? Sammy Vatanen, who lobs it right back in. Lehtinen with a fluttering puck, having all kinds of trouble playing. It'll just return to the front of his net.
Perry Lehtinen struggles at times handling the puck, and the Ducks will be wise to pressure him whenever they can.
Poked away from Ben at the line by Kessler, and very nearly knocked away as Cogliano was there to pounce. Cole brings it back into the Anaheim zone. Nice play by Lindholm, who pokes it off his stick, and Kessler with a short pass to Smith-Pelly. Into the Dallas zone, a long wrist shot that Lehtinen makes the save on and carefully lays off for Brendan Dillon. Hemsky up right wing, cuts to the middle of the ice. Passes it into the Anaheim zone. Beauchemin has Ben all over him, initiates the physical contact, and wins the puck.
Oh, he did that indeed. I mean, he just lowered the shoulder on Ben right on the chin.
Lindholm knocks it out of midair, stays out of the zone, and into the middle of the ice, he finds the open man. Jackman steams in, gets it back, and had his stick lifted by Alexiak at the moment of truth. A good effort here by the Ducks as their fourth line, creating some havoc. Stoner just feathers it down low. Thompson behind the net, tries to get it in front. Edom goes after it. So does Jackman. It's still loose. Thompson in there, and a penalty coming up for the Stars. Thompson out of the corner, takes it behind the net. Alexiak knocks it away. Eves touches up, and the Ducks will go on the power play when we come back. Still scoreless in Dallas thanks to Frederick Anderson. Moments ago, his best stop of the night as he stoned Colton Sevior. And now the Ducks on the power play in a moment.
A scoreless game, and the Ducks are getting some opportunities out of their fourth line. Nate Thompson with the intercept. Tim Jackman has his stick lifted just at the moment of truth. But watch the big defender here, Alexiak, is making sure that Emerson Edom can't get a hold of that rebound, just wraps him up with those big arms of his. 2-minute penalty to Alexiak, and the Ducks with a power play chance midway through this second period. Stars territorially have had the edge. Tim Jackman continues to get opportunities and create a little bit of havoc in the offensive zone.
I think, Brian, that might be one of the surprises in the early going this season, the fact that Tim Jackman has played in every game this season for Anaheim. This is their 12th game of the year, and deservedly so. But Jackman was kind of a Swiss Army knife type player last season down the stretch for Anaheim. Wasn't an every night guy in the lineup.
Yeah, he's been an energy guy this season. He's averaging just around 8 minutes a game, but he's giving them 8 quality minutes. And as I've said many times about Tim Jackman, a very honest, hard-working player. Doesn't get caught very often defensively. Reliable would be the term that Bruce Boudreau would use to describe him.
Third Anaheim power play will begin.
You know what?
If the puck is ever dropped.
That could have been a penalty. That should have been a penalty. Second time that Roussel in the face-off circle was called by the linesman.
Kessler does end up winning the draw. The puck in the skates of Maroon, and finally fished out by Vern Fiddler, who clears the zone. Getzlaf hinges over to get it, and now stretches it ahead. Maroon and Kessler were still caught in the zone, and then they run right in to one another at the blue line as the Ducks try to enter the zone. So they'll start over. Half a minute gone on the power play. Getzlaf, middle of the ice, given a lot of space, lays it back. Kessler coming late, hard around. Perry to the hash mark, lets it come through. Getzlaf off his skate, can't get it back, and it's an easy clear for Goligoski.
Yeah, a little disorganization there on the entry. And Vatanen and Wise to set up behind the net and let his mates regroup.
And then he misses Kessler with the outlet pass. Ducks get it back at center, and Perry drags it into the Dallas zone. Jordy Ben takes it away and is able to clear the line. Rolling puck at center, and Garbutt beaten to it by Getzlaf. Now Eakin gets his stick in there, and once again the Ducks trying to recover puck possession here as Eakin carries into the Anaheim zone. Carlson bounces it back behind the net, but the power play down to just 40 seconds.
Yeah, it's the pressure up ice by the Stars here. Ducks unable to pass the puck effectively out. And too much separation, John, between all 5 players moving up the ice.
Pileski flips it in, but Horkoff rolls it all the way back. And now perhaps just time for one more rush up ice as the power play down to 20 seconds. Carlson through the middle, has Smith-Pelly, has a step, comes in, out comes Lettinen to make the save and cover up.
Boy, and Devontae Smith-Pelly's looking at the referee and saying, you know what, you got a little hook on my hands when I release that shot. The referee just looks the other way. Great pass by Carlson. See that, a little bit of slash, one-handed slash by Trevor Daley. Not much of one, but enough to disrupt Smith-Pelly from trying to elevate that puck. Good play by Daley, who was able to close in a hurry.
15 seconds left in the penalty to Alexiak as Carlson steps in to take the draw, but the Stars control this one. And Daley will go right up the middle, wide of the Anaheim goal.
John, in the early part of the season, penalty killing a real issue for the Dallas Stars. Going into tonight, they've killed 11 or 10 of their last 11, and they've been very good in this game. Consistent pressure throughout.
They were bottom third of the league last season on the penalty kill, but they're 3 for 3 tonight. Anaheim managing just one shot on goal during that power play, and now a penalty coming up to Hampus Lindholm in the neutral zone as he and Eric Cole were tangled with one another. And the veteran draws a call on the second-year Swedish defenseman. Interference is the indication. Dallas on the power play when we return.
The penalty against Hampus Lindholm. Eric Cole is cruising through the neutral zone. The first bump is at the moment the puck arrives, but watch the second bump. And big, strong Eric Cole goes down like he's been shot. So no embellishment call on that opportunity for Eric Cole as he draws the call. Lindy Ruff was saying earlier today that he really wanted his players to remember what happened last spring against the Ducks. This one tonight has turned into a special teams affair with the penalty kills for the respective clubs dominating thus far.
He was asked by the media this morning if he remembered the feeling after losing Game 6, and he was very succinct. He said bitterness. Fourth Dallas power play, and Daly's bid off a stick just bounces slowly wide of the goal. Goligoski and Daly manning the point. Sagan just buries his head and fires it off of Clayton Stoner to the corner. Stoner has been in the way a good bit tonight for Anaheim. Goligoski walks it to the top of the circle, hands it off. Daly again finds Spezza.
No stick for Kessler.
And he tries to go down in front of the Spezza bid, forcing him to shoot high, and he missed the mark. Nice play along the far boards, tipping it out by Francois Beauchemin. And offside of the Stars as they try to hurry back into the zone with Kessler trying to make a change because he had no stick.
Ryan Kessler went down to block that shot. No stick in his hand. Here's what happened, how he lost the stick. He went into the corner, and it just snapped immediately. And by going down to block the shot, if we can just continue this forward, guys, he forces Jason Spezza to shoot it high. Spezza did not miss by much, however. And the Ducks benefited from that offside because Kessler had to get back to the bench. Long change here in the second period when you're shorthanded.
A minute 10 remains, and Horkoff and Silverberg take the draw at center ice. Speed up the wing for Ales Hemsky. Forced wide, poked off his stick by Fowler. He rims it around, but nobody home at the point, and now Cogliano will pressure Ben all the way back in the Dallas zone. He shoves Ben down and gets to the loose puck, makes a nice little pass to Silverberg, has a man in front, didn't see him. Oh, trying to join the rush was Carlson there, and now, Vatanen, and now the Ducks have to hustle back. Centering pass broken up by Fowler. Here's Cogliano, up and down we go, a little bit of pond hockey, and another odd man rush. Silverberg doesn't have much left in the tank, so Cogliano takes the shot, and Lehtinen holds on.
Well, the best scoring chances of the game all initiated when the Ducks get a shorthanded chance, and actually Sammy Vatanen was wide open in front. The Ducks couldn't find him, and when the puck turned over, the Stars go the opposite way. And here's Sammy Vatanen. Look how wide open he is, and it's actually the goaltender Lehtinen that pokes the puck past him. It's an outnumbered attack. The Dallas Stars absolutely butchered. They got nothing out of it. And that's kind of also been a little bit of the story of this game, John. The opportunities that have gone for naught for both teams.
Final 20 seconds of the penalty to Hampus Lindholm, and it's Daly who carries the mail all the way to the Anaheim stripe. Spezza tries to rocket it across. That goes off of Nate Thompson, the 8-year veteran, getting in the way, and now Manson, the rookie, works on Jamie Benn. Beauchemin lost his stick, but the Ducks able to work the puck out of the zone. And the prudent play is to send it all the way down. Thompson does that. Lindholm's penalty has expired. And the Ducks full strength and now 4 for 4 on the penalty kill tonight. And again, Dallas, Brian, does not get a shot on goal during a full 2-minute complement on the power play. Their last 2 power plays, they have not had a shot on goal, and Ben's shot on goal won't count here because the Stars were offside. And once again, we visit our 3-star leaderboard brought to you by Honda this season. We add up the points. When a Ducks player is named as the star of the game, the 1-star gets 5 points, the 2-star 3, and the 1-star 1. At the end of the year, there is your 3-star winner. And Ryan Getzlaf still sharing the top spot with Sammy Vatanen, who sounds like is in the hunt for a star again tonight, Brian.
Well, if he keeps playing the way he's been playing in the first half of this game, he's been the best player in my mind so far tonight.
Maroon with great forechecking pressure on Jordy Ben, and Perry gets a stick on it in the corner. Up the wall it comes, trying to curl it out as Garbett, but he didn't. He did get it past Fowler, who says, "What are you talking about?" As offside is the call.
It's a tough play. You know, the linesman there has to get out of the way so that Fowler can get to the loose puck, but then he's not in the ideal position to really watch that line closely.
Ryan Galloway with the call, and we're down to 6:19 to go in the second period. Face-off controlled by Dallas. Manson pinches off the point, but he had point coverage. And it's Getzlaf who's backhand it to center. Maroon gets the handle in time to flip it deep, and Corey Perry will pressure Jordy Ben.
Those are the kind of dump-ins that Boudreau was looking for. The goaltender does not handle it. They sit in the corner, and it allows the Duck forwards to get body contact.
Nice little touch pass, and Cody Eakin immediately engaged by Getzlaf, unable to carry it through center ice. And this will be an icing call against Dallas as the pass intended for Garbutt at the blue line misses him. So the faceoff comes back. Ducks will be able to get the line matchup they want here as the Stars are unable to make changes.
Yeah, extra emphasis on the offensive zone faceoffs. Certainly in a game like this, the Ducks, as we talked about last night in St. Louis, the #1 faceoff team in the NHL. And Nate Thompson has done a real nice job in that regard this season.
53% on the year, and Thompson right on cue wins it. Drifted towards the net by Beauchemin. It was tipped to the corner. Edom battles it behind the net. Jordy Ben rims it around, and it's slapped the length of the ice by Roussel. Off the stick of Francois Beauchemin, so no icing this time, and Dallas will take the opportunity to get the changes they couldn't make last time. Hard pass through the middle, off the stick of Jackman, and to the corner, he'll pursue it. Edom supports on the follow-up, and now a bouncing puck to Thompson. Tries to find some space down low. Got away from Horkoff for a moment. Connaughton knocked it loose, but Jackman leaves it at the point. Edom dips the shoulder coming from below the goal line. Got it towards the net, just wide. It'll come around, up, and Lindholm with a good hustle play kept it in. Vern Fiddler, the 11-year veteran, finally gets the handle at center and angles it in. Storming in after it, trying to jump around Beauchemin, who puts his hip into him in the corner. 4 players jostle for it there. Patrick Eaves comes in. Longtime Detroit Red Wing who signed as a free agent in the offseason coming over from Nashville. Thompson wins a puck battle, and it's just lobbed back into the Dallas zone by Jackman, who races Connaughton for it. A good effort play there by Jackman, and we're going to get a penalty. I think it's a holding call on Kevin Connaughton.
Yeah, he was gassed, John. And Tim Jackman, through sheer will, gets his shoulder inside of Connaughton. It's a big play, draws the call, and the Ducks will start on the power play. Quite often it is the second effort that decides a tight game like this, and this is all second effort for Jackman. A little chip off the boards, and then he outraces Connaughton, gets his shoulder inside. Watch Connaughton grab hold of the stick. The referee was standing about 15 feet away. It's an obvious call, and a real opportunity here for the Ducks, looking somehow to get a goal and get on the board.
4th power play opportunity of the evening. And Getzlaf gets it back to the line. Vatanen across to Kessler, who whips a high-risk shot wide of everything. Now into the middle, it's Perry. Vatanen and Getzlaf work the right side. Middle slot. Perry knocked off his stick, right back to Getzlaf. Vatanen will try the near side for Kessler. Parked in front, Maroon, and somehow through the screen. A good save by Lettinen. Perry, quick touch passes, and again Kessler's the open man. Went for Maroon, but the pass was on the wrong side of him. And Eakin will swat it away. We got another penalty coming up here, I believe, to the Stars. Is it Jordy Ben who's... No, I beg your pardon. This one's going against Anaheim. They were looking at Garbutt to see if he was cut.
It's a roughing penalty. And it looks like it's going to go against the captain, Ryan Getzlaf. Did not see it, John. Was focused on the puck. Keep an eye on the left side of your screen. Oh boy, does Getzlaf get the elbow or a little punch in the face on Garbutt?
He reaches back with the left glove. Garbutt sold it, and we are 4-on-4 for the 3rd time tonight.
Yeah, not getting your money's worth, that's for sure. Garbutt draws the call. 4-on-4 offensive zone face-off for the Stars. They got their 2 scooters on the ice in Ben and Seguin up top. And then they're loaded up here. Goligoski, Trevor Daley. Perhaps Lindy Ruff sensing something here on the 4-on-4.
Face-off controlled by Ben. Goligoski for Seguin, who winds it up, goes across the high slot, finds an opening, fires, and that's deflected into the netting, out of play.
So the matchup favors the Stars on the face-off because of the penalty against Getzlaf, and William Karlsson on the ice. And then that's why Lindy Ruff got those 4 all-stars or star players on the ice at the same time. The adjustment now from Boudreau with a whistle. Ryan Kessler, more defensive-minded, more experienced centerman, steps in to take the draw for Boudreau.
Seguin wound it up coming off those boards, Brian. He really had it going, didn't he?
He can scoot. I mean, he is a magnificent skater, and certainly one of the players that you know loves the extra ice.
Second overall pick in 2010. Seguin living up to it last year, his first year as a Star. Here's Ben from behind the net. Finds Goligoski, who missed the mark.
Yeah, no way Freddie Anderson could see that. Seguin and about 3 Ducks blocking out the sun in front.
It's 4-on-4 for another 55 seconds. Then Dallas would have a power play. Boschman with a good effort just wins a battle from Seguin and stretches it for Perry. He's got a step, winds and fires, and he scored! Off the post and in. Corey Perry has ended the drought, and the Ducks strike first in Dallas.
You know, what a bomb off the stick of Corey Perry. And the Stars, remember the 4 players I was talking about, overly aggressive. They get caught, and Corey Perry slides in behind. Watch this pass. The bank pass is perfect from Francois Boschman, and Perry lowers his head, and it is a strike off the far post and in. Lettinen aggressive way out in front of that goal crease, off his angle just a hair, and Corey Perry exploits it.
Brian, the whole thing starts on a 50-50 puck behind the Anaheim net, and Boschman makes a play. He battles Seguin, wins the puck, and then makes that pass you just referenced.
The pass was perfect. And you know, the other thing that comes to mind is we often talk about Corey Perry being the least popular person in the building. Might have some competition in that regard with Ryan Kessler this season, but he seems to play better when the opposing crowd starts, you know, lighting him up with the boos at every whistle. Gets him going.
10th of the season for Perry, and the Ducks lead 1-0 in Dallas late in the second. Now the Stars poised to go on the power play in another 15 seconds. That's Anaheim's first goal 4-on-4 this season. And now the Stars about to go up a man 5-on-4 as they bring it into the Anaheim zone. Dillon swings it behind the net. Vatanen is there, reverses it away from pressure. Fowler hustling after it, will get to it. Oh, and he overskates it. We had Cogliano flying the zone. Now he'll just ice it, and Cogliano gets to it first in the Dallas zone. Smith-Pelly trying to return the favor, and it's a tired Cogliano that can't get it back.
Numbers for Dallas.
Yeah, Seguin has Ben, and Spezza tries to leave it for Spezza on the wall. Didn't get much on it. Clayton Stoner settles it and goes up on the glass and out. Getzlaf's penalty will expire in 3 seconds. So Dallas comes up empty on their 5th power play chance. Not all have been the full 2-minute variety. And speaking of 2 minutes, we're under that mark in the second period. Boschman with the only assist on the Perry goal at 16:45. 4-on-4, and the Ducks lead 1-0 late in the second in Dallas. Bouncing puck that Jamie Benn gets the handle on. Both teams now full strength, and he stretches it to Seguin. Seguin caught on the back check by Lindholm, who forces him to the corner.
Lindholm came off the boards, and he was flying, and boy, did he make a play.
Bolesky up the wall, didn't get it by Daly, who got his shot through, tipped wide by Horcoff. Goligoski all the way to the goal line to keep the play alive as the Stars try to get it back here. Now 5 players in the fray in the corner, and the officials say play on, and the loose puck is finally shoveled in front. Good work by Nate Thompson, and it's Lindholm who skates it out. Can't flip it ahead for Bolesky, and it's left in the neutral zone by Daly, and then Bolesky says thank you very much. Gets it deep, and the Ducks will change with under a minute to play in the second. Daly lobs it to center. Didn't get a lot on that. Hemsky got a touch on it, and into the zone it's Sean Horcoff. His shot blocked by Vatanen. Fiddler swings it around, and Hemsky to the far corner after it for the Stars. Hits the brakes. Smith-Pelly stays with him. Now behind the net, Fiddler picked up by Vatanen, who wins the puck. Comes away with it, puts it up on top of the dasher, and this one will roll all the way down. And icing will be the call against Anaheim.
I want to go back to that defensive play made by Hampus Lindholm. Ducks changing their defense. Lindholm is going to be shot out of a rocket here, left side of your screen. He closes against Tyler Seguin. Seguin knows that Lindholm was going to catch him. So he throws on the brakes, tries the spinorama, and again, focuses on the chest of the player. The offensive player doesn't worry about the puck, takes the body. He's certainly come a long way, Hampus Lindholm, in a short period of time.
Final 25 seconds of the second period as Anaheim clears the zone. Jordy Benn retreating through neutral ice, and now Brendan Dillon on the near side. Goes cross ice. And Eakin stepped into by Vatanen, who went down. Eves throws it in front. That went off of Boschman's behind the net. Cogliano unable to clear the zone. Dillon gets it across. Jordy Ben fakes the shot. Has to go wide. Then fans on it. Tried to center. And Vatanen blocked that. And that will be how the period comes to a close. Eves and Boschman exchange how-do-you-dos in front of the net. Eakin is involved in there with Sami Vatanen as well. Kessler comes in.
Dillon takes a shot at Vatanen. The referee's standing nearby, watching. And I don't think anything is going to be called as a result of a little pushing and shoving here after the whistle. Brendan Dillon's a big guy, and they know that Sami Vatanen's playing well. There's the left-handed pop to the mush of Sami Vatanen, but no call by the officials. Good period. Corey Perry makes the play, and off of a great defensive play by Francois Beauchemin, they give the Ducks a 1-0 lead. Terrific game tonight here in Dallas.
This scoreless drought ends late in the second in a 4-on-4 thanks to Corey Perry, and the Ducks lead 1-0 after 2 in Dallas. Stay with us. Coming up in our second intermission, some of our hockey players share their Halloween experiences. Complicating defensive effort in the second period in Dallas from the Ducks. Part of the reason they have a 1-0 lead over the Stars after 2. They gave up only one shot in that second period. And look at these numbers. In back-to-backs the last 2 years, the Ducks far and away the best record in the league. Only one regulation loss in back-to-backs, period, in the last 2 seasons.
Well, they haven't lost back-to-back road games since November the 12th and 14th back in 2013. And surprisingly, at Florida and Tampa Bay. This game, I mean, I said penalty killing has been a huge story. So has the physical play, as expected. When these two opponents get together, you know that the game is going to be very physical. Eric Cole got on the board early with a big hit on Patrick Maroon. Josh Manson with an enormous hit. And a lot of pushing and shoving after both whistles. Both teams have been relatively disciplined in the scrums following the whistles. No penalties were called at the conclusion of the second period. So we will start here at the beginning of the third period at even strength.
Mentioned just one shot for Dallas in that second period. That's only the second time that's happened to the Stars in a single period of play in nearly 7 years. Lindy Ruff's team, we talked about it early, Brian. They give as good as they get. They're averaging almost 30 shots on goal a game, averaging nearly 3.5 goals per game. They got some high-flying scoring streaks coming into this game from guys like Spezza, Ben, and Sagan, and Anaheim has done a wonderful job in shutting them down.
Yeah, they certainly have, especially Ben and Sagan, who to this point in the game are still without a single shot on goal.
Underway in the third, and the Stars try to stretch it to Garbutt right off the face-off, and Anderson sweeps it around his goal. Ducks have been very good in the third period. It's been their best period this season. A goal differential of +6 through the first 11 games in the final frame.
Yeah, that has not been the case with these Dallas Stars.
-7 is the story where Dallas is concerned in the third. And I referenced it a little earlier in the broadcast. They've had some leads, particularly here at home, that they failed to keep. They only have 1 win in 4 home games. The other 3 were overtime losses. But they felt like at least a couple of those games got away as they squandered third period leads.
It was a point of emphasis for Lindy Ruff this morning, saying, you know what, we can't continue to not get wins in our own building. That will catch up to us.
Stars were very good here a year ago as Boschman's low drive kicked away by the left pad of Lettinen. The Stars were 12 games over 500 in this building last season during the regular season. My broadcast partner's down between the benches tonight.
You know, we talk about the Anaheim Ducks and normally known as an explosive offensive team. What we don't often talk about the Ducks is a team that is one of the better defensive teams in the NHL. Once again this season, they were in the top third of the league last year. They're already in the top third in terms of goals against this season. And this is the kind of game and the style of game that we can expect to see more of from the Ducks this season. The additions of people like Clayton Stoner on the blue line, I think they have a lot more shutdown potential this year compared to last year.
Brian, from the Department of Spooky Stats, the last time Anaheim held an opponent to 1 shot on goal in a single period, Halloween night last year against the Boston Bruins. An icing call here against Anaheim, as the Ducks did it in the second period against Dallas. But it's a one-shot hockey game early on here in the third.
And the icing again affords Lindy Ruff to get the matchup that he's been looking for tonight, which is to get the Spezza line, the so-called super line here in Dallas on the ice, opposing William Karlsson.
And the Ducks win the draw. Karlsson gets a little help from his friends as the wingers step in. Manson was able to tip it ahead. Now here's Bolesky. Tries to bring it in through the feet of Alexiak, but Alexiak plays the body. Silverberg is there. Tries to force it in front. Can't connect with Kessler. Back come the Stars. Ben with speed on the right side, trying to turn the corner on Lindholm, who won't let him. And it's centered right back through an empty slot all the way down. Lettinen will come out to play.
Yeah, the Ducks have done a great job closing on Jamie Benn. No trouble when Ben is taken a good angle on by the Anaheim defense.
There's the stretch pass again for Ben. Baboshima bumps with him all the way to the corner. Francois wins the puck. Smith-Pelly reverses it. And Lindholm tries to return the favor. Tipped out of the zone by Kessler, but he's caught on the back check and his stick taken away by Jamie Benn. Cogliano. Forechecking pressure on Jordy Benn, and he'll shovel it on the backhand around for Sean Horcoff. Horcoff was the leading scorer in that playoff series for the Stars last spring. 6 points in 6 games, kind of an unlikely offensive leader for the Stars. That's what you need come playoff time. Players to step up.
A play where Vatanen, he gets the feet moving right away. I mean, the first instinct with Vatanen is to skate the puck out of harm's way.
Thompson pounced on it and got a backhander on net. Nearly got his own rebound. Now Sevier has it slapped away by Fowler. And out of the zone, again, Nate Thompson releases on the puck in the neutral zone. And Dillon rims it around in his own zone. Edom jumps on that around the boards as he got in front of Goligoski, and then it's whipped right through the crease by Jackman. Again, the fourth line for the Ducks. Containing the Stars, and the puck rimmed all the way out, and Stoner back after it. Across to Josh Manson, the rookie making his NHL debut, playing a little over 8 minutes through the first 2 periods. Gets off a little stutter step move, got it right into the goal crease, and Lettinen calmly steered that aside. Eakin jumps on his horse, angles it into the Anaheim zone, and chases it down. He and Stoner meet at the puck behind the net. Manson stays put in front. He started to go behind the goal line. It comes all the way out to Dillon. Pulls it in and has his shot deflected out of play. Again, I believe it was Stoner, Brian, that got out and got a piece of it.
Yeah, kind of a broken play. That puck squirts out to the point to Dillon. And Clayton Stoner, watch how aggressively he's going to play this. That's Stoner all the way behind the Anaheim net. And when that puck goes back to the point, it's Clayton Stoner that actually challenges the shot by Dillon. He gets a foot or a stick, something on it, and deflects it out of harm's way. So that's the other thing that goes into a game like this, where Dallas has had so few shots on goal, is that the Ducks are doing a good job of getting into those shooting lanes.
Been impressed with Stoner's game tonight. He's played over 20 minutes in each of the last 2 outings, including a season-high ice time last night in St. Louis. And remember, in those last 2 games, Clayton Stoner was playing on the right side. I spoke with him this morning, Brian, about it. I said, had you played much on the right side? He said, it'd been a while. I said, how long? And he kind of sheepishly said, junior hockey. I said, that's quite a while, because he's already 6 years in to his NHL experience.
It requires an adjustment, and because he is the veteran with so many young defensemen in the Ducks lineup, when they ask a defender to go off over and play on his opposite side, it usually is a guy like Stoner that's tapped on the shoulder.
Puck out of play in the Anaheim zone, so the face-off to the left of Anderson, and he handles that shot right off the face-off.
Hemsky didn't get much on that, John. Puck was kind of rolling. He got it away in a hurry. And Hemsky, as you mentioned, has had a very quiet start to his Dallas Stars career. I really think they signed Hemsky because when the Oilers let him go to the Ottawa Senators, for a while he had it going on with Jason Spezza. And that tandem was very dangerous for Ottawa.
Hemsky has struggled in every aspect. He's -6 in the early going this season. And relegated to 4th line duty. Nice outlet by Beauchemin off the stick of Cogliano, who chases into the Dallas zone. Dillon rims it around. Kessler gets it right to the net. And Lettinen kind of boxed the rebound out. Cogliano nearly got to it. Lindholm's shot partially blocked by Eaves. To the corner, Smith-Pelly trying to recover. Kessler gets it to the line. The open man Beauchemin settles the puck. Now throws a wrister towards the net, knocked down by Smith-Pelly, who then fans on it. Cogliano was dumped at the top of the crease. 3 abreast, back come the Stars. Fiddler on right wing, hits the brakes, looking for a trailer, lost an edge, curls it down low, and Boschma picks it up there. Smith-Pelly didn't see Goligoski, and he got fortunate there. Able to work it ahead. Maroon can't take it away from Trevor Daley, who's forced back. Toronto native takes a look and keeps it on his tape. Quick puck movement to the line. Goligoski drops it off. Seguin fired it to the slot, right on the stick of Cam Fowler. He'll angle it out center ice. Ben has to wait for the mates to get onside, and as he tries to pass it across, it goes off of Pat Maroon. When Maroon behind the net, lost it in front. Ben, point blank save Anderson, and he covers up.
What a stop. What a stop. Pat Maroon went behind his own net and is going to cough this one up. He gives it, tries to give it to Fowler, but it hits Cam Fowler in the leg, bounces right out in front of the net. That's the first shot of the game for Jamie Benn, and Frederik Andersen just kind of battles his way to the top of the goal crease to take away that opportunity for Ben. He hasn't made a lot of stops, John, but he has made some very important ones.
A very benevolent shift from the Ducks there.
Yeah.
And that gets the crowd into it a little bit here at American Airlines Center. Horkoff wins the draw. Jordy Ben up the wall. Lost the handle for a moment, but finds Eric Cole behind the net. Cole shakes off one check, and then had it poked off his stick right to the side of the net, and Horkoff put it off the side of the goal.
Stars defense starting to pinch down the boards to keep pucks in the offensive zone.
Ducks with some good work along the wall, and Perry angles it into the Dallas zone. Wow, Jordy Ben
kept his feet moving.
That's good job staying in front of Perry.
It's the only reason he doesn't get an interference call is that Ben keeps the feet moving.
Puck rolls back into the Dallas zone. Ducks will try to change. Stars want to catch him on that change. It's Daley joining the rush.
Oh, it looked offside.
Yeah, sure did. Sevier looked like he crisscrossed with Daley and went ahead of the play. Daley's bid deflected out of play.
No, Trevor Daley has made a huge step forward with Lindy Ruff behind the bench here in Dallas, who has really encouraged him. No, it's a good call by the linesman. Daley has that skating ability, the ability to kind of weave into the offensive zone, move that puck laterally. I think a big factor in the Dallas Stars improvement has been the emergence of Daley as more of an everyday guy that can play big minutes and be more reliable defensively for Lindy Ruff.
9 goals a season ago for Daley, led the Blue Liners on that Stars team that qualified for the playoffs. They've added Jason Spezza, who takes the draw here. Ben behind the net, battling with young Josh Manson. Stoner reaches back, dislodges the puck, and reverses away with it. He'll use the glass to try to clear. Knocked down. Would have been a hand pass if the Stars had played it. Carlson battling with Seguin, who chops it back into the Anaheim zone. Stoner again goes up the glass over Alexiak. And this one will go all the way down, icing the result, bringing the face-off back into the Anaheim zone.
That's not an easy thing to do, to go over top of Alexiak. He's 6'7" tall. He is an enormous man. An offensive zone face-off against Stars. The last couple of shifts have had the Ducks penned up a little bit.
A couple of years ago, Alexiak was a teammate of Josh Manson at Northeastern University in Boston. They must have had a big blue line. Centering pass hops the stick of Eakin as he tried to head to the slot, and Anaheim able to clear the zone. They can get changes now. Goligoski plays it across. Daley swats it to the line, but that was denied by Stoner, and now it's flipped deep into the Dallas zone for William Karlsson. Karlsson hits the brakes, cycles it along for Silverberg. Silverberg trying to keep it deep, comes out of the corner with it, protects the puck nicely. Now drops it back for Matt Bolesky. Bolesky tries to bring it in front, knocked off his stick by Eakin as the Let's Go Stars chant from the faithful here at American Airlines Center gets going as well as it has all night. Again, the Ducks will roll a line change as they throw it deep, and Goligoski with space to bring it out. Off the stick of Thompson, that's a souvenir over the head of Brian Hayward between the benches. The Ducks continue to hold a 1-goal lead in the third in Dallas. A game summary, the Ducks have scored 2 goals on this road trip yet they have a chance to get 4 of a possible 6 points. Perry has the goal tonight. Frederik Andersen has not been overworked, and the Ducks defense has been outstanding.
Well, here is the goal by Corey Perry. He actually made the defensive play behind the net to get the puck to Francois Beauchemin. Sprinted into open ice, and the perfect bank pass found Perry in open ice, and he rips it off the far post and in. We've talked about that long reach of Corey Perry and how he fools goaltenders at times who seem to be a little bit off their angle. That long wingspan of his gives him a little bit different look.
He led the league last year with 35 even-strength goals. That was Perry's 6th even-strength goal this season. He's tied with Trevor Daley for the league-leading power play goals entering tonight with 4. And so far, his goal enough. The Ducks won 1-0 in Chicago on Tuesday to open the trip. Fiddler on the far wall, picked up by Nate Thompson. Hemsky behind the net, watched by Manson. Now engages him below the goal line, forcing him wide to the corner. Back to the point, Connaughton, fans on it. Here's Jackman. Breakaway for Tim Jackman. Connaughton trying to catch him, goes backhand. Save, and the rebound is put in!
They're waving it off.
No goal as Jackman collided with Lettinen. It would have been, I believe, was it Josh Manson?
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be a penalty against Tim Jackman. Remember, this year, they have really gone out of their way to protect the goaltenders, and this is about whether or not the goalie can make a play on the puck. And you know what? I agree with the call. It's not a penalty against Tim Jackman, but because his forward momentum carries him into the goaltender, Lettinen is out of position.
Well,
Josh Manson, boy, almost had his first career NHL goal.
A momentary lapse of glory for Josh Manson, and it is short-lived.
You know, and you can't blame certainly Tim Jackman for that. I mean, he's got his head down. He's trying to score on the breakaway. He's got Connaughton right on his hip. There's nowhere for him to go, but it's the correct call.
Well, give Manson credit, Brian. He saw an opportunity, and he joined the rush. He was right there. Johnny on the spot, first man on that loose puck. Young man showing off some skating chops there. And the Stars called for icing here at the other end.
John, it's kind of interesting to me to look at the ice time for the Ducks in this game. Hampus Lindholm has played more than any other Anaheim player in the game. And the guy who's played the second most minutes, the guy who's played the most minutes, Sami Vatanen. So the two young defenders for the Ducks are having a real impact in a really important game for this team.
You know, last night when Fistrick was injured in the first period, Lindholm ended up playing 24 and a half minutes. That was the most of any Duck blue liner, the most he's played in any game this season. Vatanen played just over 24.
He's their plus-minus leader. Yeah, sorry, John. And you know, Bruce Boudreau was asked about his play this year, and he just said, you know what? He's just a really good player, and he's probably going to continue to grow as a player.
Youngsters growing up fast on the blue line. As Perry sent tumbling as he went over Trevor Daley at the Dallas end of the ice. 9 minutes into the third now as Andersen sets it up behind the net. Fowler moves it, and it's Vatanen with a sand wedge to center, and it went off a skate right to Jamie Benn. Fowler with a good play to knock away the centering feed from Spezza. And again, no gap at all as Kessler gets all over his man. Jordy Benn's shot is gloved by Andersen. Boy, good traffic in front of the Anaheim netminder, but he made it look easy.
Yeah, there was a battle going on in front between Jamie Benn and Sami Vatanen. Vatanen is going to get shoved. Watch Benn come out from behind. It's the push-off of Vatanen. Little cross-check by crafty Jamie Benn. But Freddie Andersen is able to see that puck all the way and snare it with the left hand. No rebound. And that, of course, is the key.
Face-off will be to the right of Andersen. Made his NHL debut against the Stars, you may recall, just a little over a year ago. On the 20th of October, he came in relief of Jonas Hiller, played the final 2 periods and shut the Stars out, making 24 saves in a game in which the Ducks came back and won for his first NHL victory.
John, I talked to Freddie Andersen this summer about his experience last year, and he said the one thing that he really knew is that he was a different type of goaltender in the playoffs than what he wanted to be. That he was a little more scrambly. He got a little bit too caught up with the emotion. Boy, great play by Fowler there.
Yeah, what a read, and they're 4 abreast are the Ducks into the Dallas zone. Cogliano got a lot on that.
Look out here.
And a good stick save by Lettman sends Horkoff Spezza the other way. And a nice play by Boschma to deny him the zone. The Stars had gone across the blue line, and when Spezza couldn't bring the puck with him, it just absolutely denied the rush. Lettman out to play it, and Carlson intercepted. Couldn't curl it back for Bolesky, however. And Connaughton on the drop pass from Roussel can't get it to the net. Stars get it back from behind the net, stuffed on a bad angle, and the long rebound comes out to Alexiak, who can't get it through. Garbett now on the far wall. Again sends it to the line. Connaughton finds Alexiak. Bottom of the near circle, throws it in front. It's off of Roussel and skips all the way back to Garbett. He puts his head down and has his shot deflected out of play by Jakob Silfverberg, and a conversation ongoing in front of the Anaheim goal. Roussel, of course, at the base of it all, with the Ducks leading in Dallas. Well, the Gremlins and Goblins and some just goofs are here tonight.
Like goalies there.
It's Halloween night in Dallas at American Airlines Center. I don't understand it all, but the Ducks lead 1-0 with 9:14 to play in the third period. Stars will go to Minnesota immediately following this one. They play tomorrow up at XL Energy Center. Anaheim will head to Denver following this one. And they play the Colorado Avalanche on Sunday at Pepsi Center. Face off to the left of Frederik Andersen in the Dallas zone. And Nate Thompson finally sent packing.
Yeah, 2 centers for Bruce Boudreau on the defensive zone.
Kessler's a good second option.
Yes, sure is. Not his side, however.
Yep, Fiddler, the top face-off man for the Stars, beaten by Kessler, and a clearing attempt is knocked down by Dillon. And support along the wall comes from Kessler and Smith-Pelly, and they are able to jam it out of the zone. Kessler trying to just send an area pass into the Dallas zone, went off a skate. Jordie Benn hammers it off the wall to no one in particular. This should be icing against the Stars. I'm not sure why it wasn't.
Oh, it hits a stick, John. Hits a stick in the neutral zone.
So play on, and the Stars get it to the point. Jordie Benn shot gloved off by Frederik Andersen.
Jordie Benn leads all Dallas Stars players in ice time in this game. And a couple of years ago, if you had told me that that would be the case in a game like this, I'd say not a chance. But you have to admire how far Jordie Benn has come as a player. Of course, he's the older of the Benn brothers, and he has had to get into the National Hockey League in an unorthodox way. Had to pay his dues, a lot of time in the minors, but boy, he is a solid, consistent player for Lindy Ruff.
Undrafted, Brian. Didn't even play major junior, so it's always been unorthodox for Jordie Benn. Nothing has come easy for him in his hockey career, be it professional or amateur. Perry lost his stick on what looked like might be an opportunity to slip behind the Dallas defense. So he goes to the bench and gets another from Doug Shearer, the equipment manager. And now the Stars turn it over in the neutral zone. And a collision at center between Jamie Benn and Perry is down.
Did not see it. I was watching the puck.
I don't know if there's a penalty call here. Ryan Galloway, the linesman, I thought might have seen something. He was talking with Kelly Sutherland and continues to have his ear right now at center ice.
That's away from the puck. Keep an eye on the bottom right of your screen. And it's Jamie Benn running into the right shoulder of Corey Perry that spins him around. Corey Perry had no idea he was there. Referees did not make a call.
This just adds to the likability quotient of number 10 for Anaheim here at American Airlines Center, as he slowly makes his way back to the Anaheim bench alongside Joe Huff, Ducks athletic trainer, and it appears that there was no call here.
Well, there's the hit on Perry by Benn. You know, the thing about that hit is that Jamie Benn is coming from the backside. So he is looking at Corey Perry. He's a rough and tumble guy, former Canadian Olympic team line mates, Benn and Perry.
seems like a long time ago right now, though, doesn't it, Brian?
It certainly does. In a game like this, you bet it does.
It was about 8 months ago. Cam Fowler handles for Anaheim in his own zone. Sammy Vatanen trying to use the boards to get it to Cogliano. Eric Cole steps in front. Former Clarkson star loses it to Cogliano, who comes back and stretches it up the open right wing for Smith-Pelly. He'll run it down deep in the Dallas zone. Touches it back now for Kessler. Kessler sealed off by Cole. And now Smith-Pelly wins the puck. He uses the board. Stoner's drive is blocked out of the zone by Sevier, and as the Ducks get onside, it's hammered back in by Josh Manson.
A good shift for the Kessler line. Too many men on the ice here for Dallas.
Or is it Anaheim? The puck came all the way around, and I believe it hit Cogliano as he was going onto the Anaheim bench. And now it's Ryan Galloway and Mike Lego having the conversation. And I think this is too many men on the ice against the Ducks.
Well, the puck does go off an Anaheim foot over by the bench. Both teams were changing. You can see it's currently sitting right underneath a Dallas player. It's the skate of Andrew Cogliano, and you can count the bodies on the ice for the Ducks right there. Nate Thompson was jumping on. Cogliano touches the puck. All four officials discussing right now, and it looks like it's going to be a minor penalty against the Ducks.
Too many men on the ice for Anaheim.
And that is indeed the call. So the Stars, in what was a penalty-filled first two periods, will get the first power play of the third 12 and a half minutes into it in a one-goal game in Dallas.
You know, that puck zipped around the boards, and credit Colton Sevier of the Stars. He was the Dallas player that lifted the feet, got out of the way of that puck, and allowed it to get all the way through to Cogliano. So a little bit of a bad break. Cogliano, by the way, is facing towards the bench, not looking at the puck when the puck actually hit him in the foot.
The sixth power play chance of the game for the Stars as Thompson nudges it back into the Dallas zone.
Well, there's no question. If Anaheim wins this game, it will be because of the penalty killing tonight.
Daly throws it in. It's batted down at the line by Lindholm. Forced to the corner, and Kessler protects it as he knew Sagan was bearing down on him. Sagan wins the puck back to Daly, though. He tries to walk the line. It goes right through Sagan. And Boschman nearly decapitates two officials as he hammers at the length of the sheet.
And lots of pressure up high. Again by Ryan Kessler, really forcing the issue. And a lot of snow on the ice building up, too. And then that affects those. Anytime you can force the team to make an aerial pass. Boy, almost a shorthanded breakaway by Devontae Smith-Pelly there.
Ducks have done a nice job defending the blue line tonight. There's a high stick on Cogliano, and he's slow to get up as Sagan comes back, and the puck comes to Cogliano. Sees a lot of open ice, but he'll just ice it. And he looks back at the official and says, "I'm bleeding."
And he is. Cut lip for Andrew Cogliano.
It was a follow-through play, however, Brian, and I think that's what Mike Lego or Kelly Sutherland was telling him as play goes on. Stars steam in. Oh, missing the net on a nice setup from Hemsky was Horkoff. 30 seconds in the power play as Hemsky had great speed on that rush. Back to Sevier. Cole now to Sevier, poked off his stick. Thompson can't find it. Ben to the near circle for Hemsky. Hemsky again, top of the circle, side of the net. Sevier rolls it right through the goal crease. Pile up of players in the blue paint as the puck's still loose. It's underneath. I believe a Duck defender closing the legs on it was Lindholm, who gives a tap on the shoulder to his goaltender.
Yeah, well defended by Anaheim. Hampus Lindholm had to take a few pokes in the leg to protect that puck. Lindholm battling, and you can see on top of him is Horkoff. And that puck right underneath the Anaheim defender. Here's that play where the follow-through hits Andrew Cogliano in the throat and the chin. I don't care that it's a follow-through and a shot. It's still a high stick and should have been called. And that's a tough break for the Ducks. That would have been a double minor. Cogliano was cut as he came back to the bench.
Meantime, still 11 seconds left in the bench minor being served by Pat Maroon. Face-off to the right of Anderson, and a key face-off indeed as Getzlaf steps in to take it. He's been the Ducks' best face-off man tonight, but couldn't get the puck out of the linesman's skates. Goligoski walks the line. Daly below the hash mark, spins it for Garbutt. Garbett returns it to Daly, throws it in front, tipped in by Roussel, just as the penalty had expired.
It starts with the face-off win, so the Stars have possession, and they move it around for the first time effectively. Now watch when this puck comes back to the point. They're going to change the angle of attack here, and Roussel is going to sneak down the back door. And Ryan Kesler gets focused on the puck. He loses Roussel just for a split second, and the pass is perfect. It was Daly again who just zips that cross-ice pass, and Roussel celebrates.
It's an even strength goal as the penalty had expired. So Roussel has tied the game with 5.5 to play in Dallas, and he's got it again. His shot off the near side deflected by Beauchemin over top of the net. And Maroon up the boards to Getzlaf, who threw it into the middle, and the Stars intercept. Cody Eakin lays it back. Daly measures it. Got the tip just wide. It comes to Roussel again, trying to stuff it near side. And Anaheim will clear the hard way as Beauchemin will ice the puck.
Well, good pressure from the Stars. They win some battles that time. Nothing fancy from them. Get it back to the point and shoot everything just towards the net. Shooting for the tip, does not miss by much. Roussel jumps on the rebound. I'll tell you what, Frederik Andersen makes a great stop. He gets across and jams that right shoulder against the short side goalpost and denies Roussel from about 5 feet. Timeout taken by Bruce Boudreau and the Ducks. He wants to give his team a little bit of a breather here with Dallas all of a sudden applying the pressure.
Roussell's 4th of the year from Garbett and Daly at 14:35 has changed the complexion of this game, to say the least. And a reminder, stay with us immediately following the conclusion of the activities tonight at American Airlines Center. It's Ducks Live, brought to you by Mazda. And Brian, critical time now as under 5 remains in a tie hockey game in Dallas.
Yeah, I'm watching Kurt Fraser, the assistant coach for the Dallas Stars. To my left, he gets out the dry erase board, look for a set play off of the offensive zone face-off here for Dallas. For Anaheim, not much discussion going on for the players on the ice. Although right now I'm looking out, Francois Beauchemin whispering into the ear of Patrick Maroon, and Getzlaf wins that face-off cleanly. And when Getzlaf uses his feet, ties up the stick of the other opposing centerman and kicks it back with his feet, he is so effective.
Wow. The Stars milk another icing call here. Good to see Corey Perry back on the ice, his first shift since he tumbled awkwardly in the neutral zone. And Getzlaf again will be the man to take the face-off.
Well, last face-off, he used his feet, just tied up the stick. This time he gets it with the stick, and it's a clean win again. But it looks like Pat Maroon went to chip the puck off the boards and made the mistake of shooting at the length of the ice. Boy, those offensive zone face-offs in a tie game in the third period, those are all opportunities. Getzlaf 2 for 2, and as a result, Lindy Ruff's going to change up the line. He's going to get Vern Fiddler out there, his best face-off man, to see if he can pull this draw back from Getzlaf.
3 consecutive icing calls against the Ducks. And they're asking Getzlaf to win another face-off. Fiddler controls this one. Daly walks it to the middle. Wrist shot wide. Andersen didn't appear to see it, but he bats the rebound behind the net. Stars try to bring it out the other side, and Hemsky couldn't stuff it home. Anaheim will finally clear the zone. Perry wants to lay it back into the zone as he was draped by defenders, and now Lindholm settling things as the Ducks get a forward line change. Stretched by Beauchemin, tipped into the Dallas zone off the stick of Corey Perry. Pileski trying to get inside on Daly, who falls to his knees, and the puck up the boards. Garbett rolls it to center. Josh Manson, the rookie, out there with Clayton Stoner, handles in the neutral zone. Short little pass to Carlson, who flips it deep. He'll pressure Kevin Connauton. Pileski got a skate on his clearing attempt, but Connauton keeps skating it out to center ice. Gets the red line and rolls it in behind the Anaheim goal. Manson there to support. Around the boards, Pileski able to use the glass to clear, and this one fired into the Dallas bench. Buckle your seatbelts. We're back for the final 3.5 in Dallas in a tie game after this. The Stars have responded with a third period goal, and now just 3:37 remains at American Airlines Center in a 1-1 tie. The last time the Ducks were here back in April, a dramatic late comeback produced a series win in overtime of Game 6 against the Stars, and this franchise and their fans have been waiting for 6 months for a do-over against the Ducks.
An adjustment here from Bruce Boudreau. Ryan Getzlaf actually playing the wing.
Boy, Vatanen just forcing the issue off the faceoff, tries to split the defense, now gets forechecking help from Nate Thompson behind the net. Daly pitchforks it up the wall, and it'll bounce out center ice. This is a foot race now. Getzlaf able to get back to it, and he cleared the zone. Stars are offside, and that should be an intentional offside as it's touched by Roussel. But instead the faceoff will just come outside.
Yeah, the linesman is saying that because Roussel had his back turned to him when he raised the arm, he didn't realize that it was offside, so not intentional.
With the call. It was Roussel who scored at 14:35 of the third to tie this game up. Corey Perry in the second for Anaheim, and that's where we stand, tied at 1. A false draw between Spezza and Kessler. They'll put a second back on the clock. 3:16 remains in Dallas. Stars entered the night 4-2-3 on the young season. 11 points, third in the Central Division. The Ducks losers of 2 of their last 3, trying to turn the tide a little bit here on this road trip.
Already talking about that Central with Nashville off to a great start. It's something a lot of people did not expect this season. All those Central League teams are feeling the pressure early to get off to a good start.
And the last team to lose a game in regulation this season, the Nashville Predators. Now pressure on Jordy Ben in the person of Andrew Cogliano. Dillon into the middle of the ice. Spezza with speed has Ben with him. The return feed just out of his reach. And Kessler up the boards to Cogliano, who puts it in the Anaheim bench.
And because this puck went off a glove inside the Anaheim bench, face-off again will come all the way back inside Anaheim territory. Chips, both clubs being kept very, very short. Roussel, Garbutt, Eakin, the line that tied this game for the Stars.
Keep
back
in mind,
out there once again.
The Ducks on the back end of back-to-back.
Yep.
The Stars haven't played since Tuesday. So you just battle your way down the stretch in this situation if you're Anaheim. Puck played as a hand pass against the Stars. And now Perry has his stick slashed out of his hands. Number 10 has been a target all night, not just of the fans, but of anyone in green on the ice.
Trevor Daly, and not much going on. Corey Perry putting it into the legs of Trevor Daly. That was a couple of altercations between Daly and Perry last spring in the playoffs.
Off the face-off, Ducks control. Hampus Lindholm finds room up the left side, gets the red line, allowed. No, he didn't get the red line. Oh, wow.
That's
they call that icing.
That is a tight call against the Ducks. You know, the follow-through of Lindholm certainly, you know, the argument is at what point does the stick come off the blade of Hampus Lindholm? You know, he's short of line. It's a good call. Right call.
Well, we've looked at a number of them tonight, and we got to give it to the officials, especially the linesmen. We've checked a couple of offsides. Of course, the linesmen responsible for the icing calls, and they've been right every time. So Thompson takes the draw. It's in his skates, and again, Anaheim wins a face-off. Sand wedge to center by Getzlaf. This one will not go far enough for icing before Daly tracks it down.
The adjustment again by Boudreau with Nate Thompson out there with Getzlaf and Perry. That way he keeps 2 centermen on the ice, certainly for any kind of a defensive zone opportunity.
You got to have that puck there, Brian.
Well, it was outside.
That thing went over the boards right in front of you. You got to have that.
This is like a goalpost right here, John. So if the puck is outside of the goalpost, there's no point wasting any energy.
Where's your effort? Where's your effort?
I knew it was going wide. I had the angle.
If you can catch it, you got to catch it.
I was an Angles goaltender, John.
So they'll drop it right at center ice. 2:12 remains in a tie game in Dallas. Shots 23-19 in favor of the Ducks, who pursue deep in the Dallas zone. Silverberg with the pressure on Goligoski. Daly tries to slip away and gets support from Spezza. His pass up the middle, boy, it just skipped by Carlson. Couldn't knock it down. Vatanen hammers it around and in. Bolesky on a bouncing puck, unable to get to it. Silverberg got a stick on it, now keeps it in. On a second effort, Bolesky goes behind the net, gets inside on Daly. Spezza drops down and puts a shoulder into him and lobs it back to the Anaheim stripe. Boy, look at the puck bounce on Vatanen. He has to be careful as he gets it ahead off the skate of Silverberg.
Tell you what, Seguin flying the zone for the Stars here. I mean, as soon as that puck anywhere gets close to one of his players, he's out of the zone.
Fiddler rink wide to Dillon, but Fiddler just goes offside on the play. That wasn't even close. And the faceoff will come back.
A little bit surprising that the Fiddler line out there for Lindy Ruff at this stage of the game. And the Stars feeling a little bit of pressure to get another win here at home. 1-0-3, as you mentioned, John, in their first 4 games of the regular season.
Jordy Ben handles it center, puts it up on the glass around and in. Anderson will stay put. Flipped ahead by Lindholm and just cleared through the middle by Cogliano. Stars serve it right back in. Fiddler doing the honors, and Anderson cannot get a stick on it behind the net, so Cogliano hustles back. Dallas finishing changes, so time and space for Beauchemin with an aerial pass that's tipped at center by Kessler.
That's a good job by Kessler to make sure that doesn't go for icing.
Now
Puck is bouncing.
Roussel turns it over behind the net, and Smith-Pelly gets it back for Beauchemin. Under a minute to go in regulation. Ben drops below the goal line, and no pressure as he finds Eakin up the middle. Ducks changing, and Cody Eakin has speed. Long wrist shot, gloved off by Anderson, who says no problem, let's just settle things down, and 43.3 is all that remains in regulation.
Yeah, with the Ducks changing, that gave Eakin all kinds of space in the neutral zone. And I tell you what, it will not sit down flat right now, the puck. And so both players, I mean, it really changes the way teams have to play at this stage of the game. It simplifies everything. You're not going to be able to make consecutive passes here with these ice conditions breaking down the way that they are. So you're seeing a lot of dump-ins. You're hoping that the opposing defense mishandles the puck when they do get back to it.
Lindy Ruff exercising his lone timeout here with an offensive zone face-off and under a minute to play in a tie game. Keep in mind, if we go to overtime regarding those ice conditions, they'll do a dry scrape of the ice and the teams switch ends in overtime, which is a new wrinkle this season in the National Hockey League, in an attempt to encourage games to end in the extra 5-minute session as opposed to going all the way to shootout.
2 very mobile defensemen back on the blue line in Goligoski and Daly once again for the Stars.
Getzlaf tapped to take the key draw to the right of Frederik Andersen. Cody Eakin to take it for the Stars. And Getzlaf does kick it back as he ends up on the seat of his pants, able to clear so Vatanen can get it out. This one's off the skate of Beauchemin and out of play, and this face-off will take place in the neutral zone.
Trevor Daly was probably fortunate that puck hit Francois Beauchemin, or it would have definitely gone for icing. The Ducks did a good job. I mean, you hear coaches use the terminology of pressuring at the lines and preventing your opponent from easily getting to center ice where they can make a smart dump. Roussel diving. Corey Perry mocking him right now.
34.7 seconds remaining. It's another face-off win for Anaheim. Hurrying to the red line is Vatanen, who gets it in. Lettinen stops it behind the net, serves it right back on top of the dasher. Perry comes in, can't take it away from Roussel, who battles it out center ice. Vatanen behind the back for Beauchemin. He'll be pressured by Eakin, and he'll return it to his defense partner. Vatanen after it on the near side, just ahead to Getzlaf, who chops it to center. Fired right back in by Garbutt. Under 10 seconds left in regulation. Francois Beauchemin comes to the other side of the net, nudges it ahead. Time to just flip it in from Nate Thompson, and regulation is complete at American Airlines Center. Last time these teams met in this building, it went to overtime, with the Ducks getting a dramatic playoff win. We go to overtime again here tonight in Dallas. The Stars with a goal inside the final 6 of regulation, and we're not done yet. For just the second time this season in 12 games, Anaheim finds themselves going to bonus hockey, tied at 1 in Dallas through regulation. The Ducks had the lead entering the third period by virtue of the 10th goal of the season from Corey Perry on a wonderful stretch pass off the boards from Francois Beauchemin. but they couldn't hold it. A late power play for Dallas on a too many men on the ice penalty had just expired, and Antoine Roussel parked at the far post, got a redirect, his 4th of the year. And that's where we stand on our way to overtime. Tied at 1. The Stars have found themselves in overtime already 4 times this season. This is the 5th time in just 10 games, Brian, that they have found themselves having to go to extra hockey to decide the game.
And the 4th time that they've gone to extra hockey in this building, and they've come up on the short end in all 3 times. So, you know, certainly that's a trend they would like to break right here tonight. It's been a good game. I mean, evenly played hockey game, probably deserving of a game that goes into the extra session. Not much to choose between the 2 teams tonight. Anaheim, I think they may have run out a little bit of gas, John, in this 3rd period, having played the second half of back-to-backs. We talked about the excellence of the Ducks in back-to-back situations last season, and an opportunity for them tonight to pad that record a little bit.
Their only back-to-back sequence of the season was when they went from Buffalo to Philadelphia on that opening road trip, and as you may recall, they won that game in a shootout. So here they find themselves in their 2nd set of back-to-backs, and again find themselves in overtime. Kind of a Murphy's Law sort of thing. When you have fatigue playing a role, you're tired, you're playing second in as many nights, and you're asked to play a little more.
I'll tell you this much, being down here at ice level and seeing how much snow was building up on the ice surface, I like this rule change that the league has adopted, where they go to the dry scrape. What we've talked about with the dry scrape is giving the players a better ice surface in the hopes that they will decide this thing before it actually goes to a shootout. And keep an eye on, I'll let you know how things look passing the puck here at the beginning of this overtime session, because I'll tell you what, for the last 5 minutes of the 3rd period, it was almost impossible to connect on consecutive passes.
Yeah, that was fairly apparent even from up top. 2 of the 4 Stars overtime games have ended in the 5-minute overtime session, both Dallas losses. So the Stars will open with, the Ducks, I should say, will open with Kessler and Cogliano. Up front, the Stars go with Seguin and Spezza. It's Roussel who had the game-tying goal, and he tries to jump into the middle right away. Steps in front and put it off of Anderson. Cogliano tips it out center ice, can't get around Jordy Ben. Spezza drops it back, and Ben circles his own goal. Stars had 9 shots through the first 2 periods. They had 11 in the 3rd. Spezza, little 2-man game with Roussel. Fowler keeps him to the outside. The centering pass picked off by Vatanen. Anaheim 3-on-2 if they hurry. Vatanen stays in the rush. Cogliano goes wide, throws it in front. It bounces right through the crease. Kessler collects it, then loses an edge. Ducks want to get changes as Cogliano stays out as the deep forechecker. And now he's out of gas. Ben's been out there since overtime began, and he can't get it past Getzlaf. Now Jamie Benn takes it from his brother Jordy and steams back into his own zone. A minute gone in overtime as Brendan Dillon is forced behind the net a couple of times by Getzlaf. His outlet pass off the stick of Jamie Benn, jammed back by Boschma, and again it's Getzlaf trying to put forechecking pressure on. Daly just throws it back into the Anaheim zone. And careful with it as Boschma hangs on to it as Eakin comes in. And now Getzlaf's only play is just up the boards and out.
That's going to be icing.
Yeah, it is.
And the Ducks can't use a timeout here. And Ryan Getzlaf is going to have to try and win this faceoff. Stars are going to keep Seguin out there to take the draw. Right-handed Seguin, remember, was a center last year. Not known as a good centerman in terms of winning draws, but they got a lot of quickness and speed up front with Seguin and Hemsky.
Well, the word is he's worked a great deal on his faceoffs in the offseason, and he ties up Getzlaf, comes away with it, and Anderson makes the save. Just that little step out from Anderson, and he got a shoulder on it. Daly drives it back up the boards behind the net for Seguin. Tyler Seguin now leaves it for Hemsky. Circles the net. Into the slot, and Seguin gets it back to Goligoski, just wide.
Yeah, I think he was shooting for the tip.
And Seguin gets it back. Stars are dangerous. Goligoski behind Seguin, who will get it behind the net. Lindholm trying to keep him to the outside. Perry has one eye on him. And the give and go to Seguin, and he fumbles it in the slot. And Getzlaf gets it to Perry. Ducks need a change, so Perry will lob it back.
See good patience there by Corey Perry. Don't give the puck away. Hold on to it. Give your teammates chance to make the trade. Make the change, rather.
Fowler in full flight against the grain. Perry scores! Thompson in front, got a tip on it, and Anaheim wins it in overtime.
Corey Perry again. Long shift for Perry. He pulls up just inside the offensive blue line. He knew he had traffic going to the net. And I believe Nate Thompson gets a touch on that puck. Perry makes it happen again. Ducks on the rush. Fowler is leading it. He's going to drop it off. And then it's Corey Perry that throws on the brakes. Nate Thompson is there. Judging by the reaction of Thompson, I think we'll see he gets a touch on that puck. There it is. It elevates it over top of the blocker of Kari Lehtonen, and a big, big 2 points for the Ducks.
And you can see Lehtonen looking around. He doesn't know what happened or how that puck got past him. But Thompson gets a touch, and at 2:30 of overtime, the Ducks repeat a little history in Dallas as they win in overtime, as they did the last time they were here with that dramatic Game 6 playoff win. Perry figures in both goals, including the game winner in overtime. And Anaheim defeats Dallas at American Airlines Center by a final of 2-1. Stay with us. Ducks Live is next.